Well, hello there. Welcome, everyone, to Diabolical Wednesdays, where we're doing Star Wars. We're digging into Star Wars. We're doing it. We're finally doing it. What's up, everyone? Before we get into it, if you guys could hit that like button, leave a comment, and ring that little notification bell, that'd be great. There you go, Badge. And actually, share the stream. Go send out the link and get people in here. That'd be greatly appreciated. And of
Watch
course,
all accounts too, like I'm doing 3 accounts. Come on, post those numbers.
Yeah, boost those numbers. Looking forward to doing this. After this, we're gonna dive into Clone Wars, the animated series by Tartakovsky, which we've also been doing Primal. We're gonna dive into that and a little bit of the Clone Wars. We're gonna talk about the actual series. We're not gonna do episode by episode because we'll be here forever doing that. But looking forward to going into all that, getting into the lore, and then getting into the original stuff, which is like the meat. Show me the meat. That's what we want. So, but I can't do it alone.
Where's the meat?
Yeah, but I can't do it alone. I have these guys with me. I have Badger. What's going on, buddy?
I don't see you enough, Gooch. We need to find reasons to stream more.
Yeah, I know.
No. I wanted to talk about the micro Clone Wars, and so we decided to just do all of Star Wars. So why not? Why not?
Yeah.
There's nothing else to talk about.
No. Well, no one's really talking Star Wars, really. I mean, there's Skeleton Crew and there's
that's Disney Star Wars. That's
we had a whole
Disney,
funeral
for it. Yeah, no, but that's
not Star Wars.
Is OG Star Wars.
And Wyatt's already raring to go.
I'm ready to go.
Something I realized every fight I've had on the internet has been about Star Wars, and the first one ever was with the white sniper himself, Leon.
I remember this.
Well, yeah, why was this? Gooch, were you around back in those days?
I was.
You were there.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
I was there. I was there.
But it started off as something beautiful, intense, and now there's a friendship truly because of it. And but that was in regards to Disney Star Wars. But we're talking about that good shit today. And I'm kind of the odd man out on this, and I do love this movie. I want to lay it out there. I do love the movie, but something's got to be. Of the 6 George Lucas era Star Wars movies, something's got to be at the bottom. And this one actually is my least favorite Star Wars film. So that there's gonna be some points of conversation, but I'm still gonna nerd out over it. Still love it. Justice for Jango Fett. Thank you for having me on. Let's do it.
Oh, that's right.
Justice the Jango Fett.
I remember what he said.
Yes.
Forget everything he says. He's mad that his boyfriend got killed by Mace Windu.
Yeah, for real.
Fuck Mace Windu, dude. We're gonna get into this. Fuck Mace Windu.
Race is confirmed.
Race is confirmed. About to cross some fucking lines.
Niyat, buddy, how you doing? Welcome back.
Thank you. Happy to be here. I'm a huge fan of the Star Wars series. Probably not as big as Badger and Leon. But yeah, I do enjoy this film. I don't like it as much. I like it more than The Phantom Menace. I prefer Revenge of the Sith. And I think this film has some ambitious ideas, stunning visuals. We get to see the exploration of the political decay of the Republic, which is fantastic. Lots of new worlds, a lot of world building. We see the Jedi fighting. We see new aspects of how the Force is used. And I think there's a lot of great things going for this film, but at the same time, its heavy reliance on CGI distances the actors from their environment. It makes the film feel quite sterile, and it's also held back by an uneven script and some weird character choices and scenes like Padme and Anakin. But we're going to get into that.
Yeah, and of course, we've added another person to the panel, Wyatt. Thank you for joining us, brother. I'm excited to hear your takes on this. What's up? How's it going?
What's up, man? Yeah, thank you for having me here. When I saw you guys started doing the Star Wars movies, it was like, I've been wanting to do that on my own for a while, but I stopped making content about movies, so I don't have an excuse to. So I kind of was like, hey, pick over here. And I was excited for doing Attack of the Clones because, as I was just telling you guys backstage, this is a very flawed movie. But I think it is massively overhated, and I think it has a lot of good positive qualities to it that we'll get into in a lot more detail. But like in how it's structured as a film, it has issues in terms of the stupid dialogue, the wooden plank acting. But in terms of Star Wars and the plot and the story, I think it did so much to expand and add really interesting there's really cool, interesting shit going on in the background.
This
yeah.
movie obviously is the middle of all the prequels, but like the prequels added a good percentage of the Star Wars pre-Disney lore of the universe and characters and species and how everything worked, because you had to set it all up to knock it all down with the Clone Wars. So a lot of lore was created out of these movies.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things we can dive into tonight, which I'm looking forward to, because there's some things, and you touched on something today that I'm going to bring up later on, which I think, because I was talking about it the last stream, the way it ended, and I don't like the way it ended. And I'll bring it up later on, but I think it could have played. I think George Lucas he did have trouble writing this. So
Gooch is approved.
yeah, yes, I'm afraid. Of course, we can't do this without the chat, and I just want to quickly acknowledge everyone in the chat before we get started here. And Justin Cook was the first one here. What's up, Justin? Thanks for joining us, Chris. Oh yes, there was a possibility of someone joining us tonight. Well, if he pops in, he pops in. If he doesn't, he pops in.
We did a 7.5 hour stream. He's probably dead.
Yeah,
he barely was speaking on his own stream today, and he called out on Gary. So
yeah,
they don't have the stamina of the Badgers. It's all right. It's all right. Horrible diet. No, he's good.
Yeah.
Shout out, Chris.
Mama Gooch is in the house. She says,
Mom.
"Hey guys, have a great stream, and may the force be with you." Oh, you're hitting
Love you, Mama.
the sweet spot.
Hey.
Sammy, what's up, Sammy? Thanks for joining us. And check out his show. He does his show on Sunday night, so go check him out. Oh, Moxie. Hi, Moxie. How are you?
Hi.
Nice to see you. We got Alex Moore in the house. What's up, Alex? Big Ship, Boosh, Graph Web. What's going on, Graph Web? Big Ship. What's up, brother? Dragon Wise is in the house. We got CFH90 gifted 5 Gucci Gang memberships. This guy.
You are very good.
Fucking guy.
Yeah, we won him over last week. We won him
wait
over.
till you see what we got in store this week.
And I have to play something for him. So let's this one. I love this one.
You couldn't smooth a silk sheet if you had a hot date with a babe. I lost my train of thought.
There we go. We got Warren. What's up, Warren? Thank you.
Howdy.
Rio. Graph Web. For fuck's sake. Hashtag cancel Disney Plus.
I'm tired, bro.
Good job, guys.
So prolific.
I was gonna rewatch
your
Attack of the
stamina
Clones.
like a minute ago. Come on now.
Yeah. Where's that?
I was gonna watch
Anthony, what's
Attack
up,
of the Clones
Anthony?
before this to get caught up, and then I realized that I unsubscribed to Disney Plus. So I was like, "Fuck."
Oh, I've seen this so many times. It would recreate it from memory if I had to.
Niyat, you sneaky son of a
Naughty man.
You very naughty man.
Naughty man.
Let's give him this.
On my way to work, I hit a guy.
Oh, that doesn't seem so bad.
Every day this week.
Jackson Arm, you're wrong, by
Thanks,
the way.
buddy. Thanks, Niyat. I appreciate the
Clone
You're welcome,
Saga's not that bad.
We got Hey, it's me in HD. Awesome. Can't wait for your thoughts. Yes, we're gonna dive into this bad boy. Gunho, what's up? There are levels to this. There's Lucas bad, and then there's Disney bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Lucas, I've said this once, I'll say it again. I guess we should preface this by saying that like we all will probably and do give passes to George that we do not give to the people that wrote Disney, because George is George, and the people after had all the chances in the world to see everything he did and write a cohesive 3-story arc. They didn't. They rushed it, fucked it all up, and so yeah, George gets passes that other people don't. That's including Darth Felonius.
CFH for $5. I gotta work, but I'll be listening. Here's to another epic stream, guys. Well, thank you for
Shout
the
out,
$5 there, brother. Quickly just I'll give you a quick one here.
In and out. Phrasing, doing great.
Had to get a phrasing in there.
Yes, correct. CFH.
Just quickly. OG in the house. Eraserhead, what's up there, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Boosh quickly saying this movie sucks more than George Michael at a highway rest stop. Men's room. Not the worst Star Wars movie, but worst pre-Disney.
Okay, Boosh, you got to have faith, buddy. You got to have faith.
Oh, Oh, you had to pull that one. What's up, Leonard? Thanks for joining us. What's up? Asawadami, thanks for joining us, bro. I appreciate you. Another one of the OGs in the house. And I think that could be, if I miss anyone. Ooh, Rossi.
What was it?
What's
The
up?
Rose?
It is I don't know.
By any other name, it's still Rossi.
It was like right there. You beat me by 2 seconds.
Yeah. Josh, dinner scene is objectively unhateable.
I mentioned
Hey,
it
what's up,
before the
Josh?
stream. I literally mentioned it before the stream. Yes.
Yes.
Love the dinner scene.
And Zax is here. Zax, he can't make it tonight. Hopefully he can make it next week. He'll have his stream. We'll raid into it afterwards. What's up, Zax? Thanks for joining us, brother. And Rossi for $2. Is that Dave Filoni? Oh, that's just Gooch.
How dare you?
Ooh.
To be
dare
fair, Gooch, you do look like a
Oh, that's
handsome
deep.
built Dave Filoni. Like Dave Filoni if he ate meat.
You should get a cowboy hat. I mean, Dave Filoni
Leon-
definitely eats meat, but not the way we think.
Leon, I'll get in my Jeep and drive down there right now and eat you with your legs. Thanks, Rossi, for the $2. Daxnar is here. What's up, Daxnar? And Joker fan attack. I'll take Lucas over Disney any day. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And comment people here. And I'm sorry if I don't miss anyone. We got 82 people watching, so I'd greatly appreciate all you guys. Oh, Black Lives or Black Cats. Tuscans
Are they though?
Yeah.
Are they though? They are the original people. But
Rick Costa. What's up? Yeah.
I don't think that the Force has chosen people based on what happens to them.
If
Nadia.
anything, Jawas would actually be that, and just throwing that out there. Like,
Yeah. Let's see if we can racism more.
Yeah.
I
We're
didn't
allowed
say
to now.
the word. This is
Yeah.
I didn't say the word.
there you go, Wyatt. Yeah.
Oh,
There's no
my
rules in
God.
here, people. We're about to get real on you.
Sheriff's in town.
That's right.
Nadia.
He gives people outside of the town. He's the good guy.
We just
Rambo's
start
the
quoting
bad guy.
Blazing Saddles.
Nadia. Gooch doesn't like. Oh, the victim stuff has to stop, Nadia.
I'm so unpopular. Nobody likes me.
Loves me. Yeah. We love you, Nadia. Thanks for joining us. All right. Well, let's get into this. So this takes place 10 years later.
Before we start it, can I read the foreword to the Star
Absolutely,
Wars
brother.
Attack of the Clones
I remember that
technical
book.
manual? Oh my god, I've had this. Great for rolling joints. That's why I've kept it all this long. I'll keep it
Nice.
real with you, but I do have it so the inside is intact. It says the growing darkness. Long ago, a prophecy foretold the coming of an individual who would bring balance to the Force, ushering in a new era of peace following one of great instability. With the Separatist crisis, the future of the great galactic republic is clouded with uncertainty, and the peacekeeping Jedi are too few to hold together an entire galaxy. In this age, the Sith have reappeared. I guess they forgot the part where they reappeared just a couple of years ago to kill a bunch of people. And anyway, the Sith have reappeared. They're evil, hidden perhaps in the heart of Liberty's citadel. And while the prophecy is looked upon anew, many of the galaxy's denizens have no choice but to fend for themselves.
Nice.
Niyat.
He's so based.
Oh my god, what is this? Everyone everyone's playing victim now. So thank you, Badger, for that. So the intro to this movie, and I'm sure Badger and anyone know this intro to this, basically.
Yeah, so it starts.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, yeah, it does start like that, but basically just says there's unrest in the Galactic Senate. Several hundred solar systems under the leadership of the rebel leader Count Dooku have declared their intentions to secede from the Republic. The separatist movement has made it difficult for the limited number of Jedi to maintain peace and order in the galaxy. Senator Amidala, the former queen of Naboo, is returning to Coruscant to vote on a critical issue of creating an army to assist the overwhelmed Jedi. So this takes place 10 years later.
Yes.
when Anakin is 19, not
He grew
15.
He grew
Remember,
quickly.
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, 10 years later, after what is it, the Battle of Naboo? That
Yes.
is basically.
Yeah.
So
Now,
Count
this is pod
Dooku,
racing.
Count Dooku is a member of the Lost 20. I guess you can keep playing what we're doing. He's one of the only, at the time, 20 members to ever leave the Jedi.
So we had an assassination attack on Senator Amidala.
Mm-hmm.
And this part's hilarious because her decoy says, "I'm sorry, I failed you," and like that's literally your job.
Yeah, took the words out of my mouth.
So
Yeah.
That guy on the right is a liar. He's a fucking liar.
First time in Star Wars history where we got CGI Yoda instead of puppet Yoda, and
Yeah.
original puppet Yoda's rough though.
They did. Wasn't there a good mix in between? Like original Phantom Menace, it was kind of.
Phantom Menace
like
had puppet Yoda, and then when they re-released it, they swapped it with CGI Yoda.
But this is where they basically Palpatine suggests that Anakin, and I read the book this is based on, but Ancion, the border dispute. There you go. Hayden.
That's what I was saying about the movie earlier. Was that laugh at the dialogue and the stiff acting and the visuals and everything. There's some really brilliant political espionage and like things going on in the background.
Yes.
That that shit is really good when you get into that.
Yeah. So essentially, planets have been seceded. They've been leaving the Republic, separating, joining Count Dooku and the Separatist movement. Ostensibly advocating it's all but throwing tea into the harbor, like they're not being represented properly. There's malfeasance. The Senate is corrupt at this point, and we all know why. Because DEI has ruined.
Yeah. So Eraserhead. So how old is Didi Monday here? Because obviously,
say that name again. What was his name?
You heard me. So this character here. This
Kiadi Mundi.
Kiadi, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I would not have said it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're filled with amateurs on this chat, Badger. Damn.
He's not whatever ancient age they made him, because in one of the prequels to this, he's only like 19 or 20. So in this one, he's like early 50s, some shit like that, early 50s or 60s.
Yep.
Palpatine?
No, Kiadi Mundi.
Kiadi. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. I'm gonna say something a lot of people are gonna take issue with, and I was just praising the movie. Hayden Christensen's not a good actor. He was not a good choice to play Anakin. They should have got someone way better.
I agree with you. I totally agree. I agree.
Fuck you.
I agree.
Disavow, and all it takes is watching some of the behind the scenes where you can see some of the scenes that we all say are cringe in a different take. George is the one that chose those fucking scenes.
Oh, I know that.
Right, but I guess I like his performance when he's allowed to perform.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen is not a bad actor. He's just not the right fit for Anakin. If you see him in other films before this, he's actually quite good.
Yes,
but yeah, a lot of the problems with this performance has to do with the direction.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Like even Natalie Portman is awkward and weird in this shit, and like we know she can act.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, she acted like she cared about female directors for several years until she was called out on it.
This was also the time when George Lucas got a PS2 and was like, "Bro, this is awesome. I need to make my movie look exactly like this."
I mean, back in the day, those graphics look fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I remember like the book you just pulled out. Yeah, I remember looking at through
every
that
DVDs and shit were like new and stuff. This all looked great.
Well, and PS2 had the best Star Wars tie-in games for this era. In fact, the Star Wars Bounty Hunter game is honestly my favorite Star Wars game of all time. It literally explains why Jango Fett was chosen to be the leader of the base for the clone army. It is. Oh, we'll get into that later because that's a wild story. But
yeah, and Joker Jack, that is exactly why George did what he did. Because if you haven't noticed, Mark is a whiny little bitch in most of the fucking first three movies. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's clearly a character trait he has for the Skywalkers.
I was going to bring this point up too. Like, Hamill, very similar, like Hayden and Hamill, very stiff, and they have trouble portraying emotion when they're acting. It's like
okay. We're gonna quash that right now. Jedi aren't supposed to. So like that is intentional. Now, whether it's done well, you could say that they failed the execution, but Jedi are supposed to be emotionally detached. They even set it up with Phantom Menace. They're like,
there is no emotion, there is
mom.
peace. It is the first line of the Jedi code.
So
I just think
him not having that is technically him trying to be a good Jedi. That's why it's such a break for him. Like when he kills the Tusken Raiders or when he falls in the third film, like he's actually trying to be the ideal Jedi.
I get that, but I think just a different actor could have portrayed it better, a little more like subtly. I feel like he kind of drastically goes from pale nothing like good boy to like sudden I killed the children too. But I feel like it did like maybe a type of I'm not that's fine, but someone like Christian Bale I think would have done better at like slowly.
Anakin could have bad knees and retire from being the chosen one in the prime of his life. Sorry, kidding. Still salty.
His back broken.
I like. Obviously, he's infatuated with her. That goes well. I love how he's like, I can sense everything going on in that room. Oh, so we remember that Jedi know how to sense around their environment and feel people's emotions and surface thoughts. Everything that the Acolyte writers just completely fucking ignored.
Well, they mentioned it in the beginning, like when the assassination, we had the Jedi Council there talking and with Palpatine, and they were mentioning like there's a clouding of the dark force around them, and they were just like Yoda kind of flirted with the idea, but then they like all see Palpatine saying like Obi and Anakin could protect Padmé, and then so they're protecting her, thinking there's a threat. I like the politics. I know we're like we had the big election yesterday, but the politics in this movie's done really well.
Classical machination.
Very good.
Yeah, like I like
well aware of Anakin's infatuation with Padmé,
and he's operating like every single side of the war, like the separatists, everything, like the rules changing. He's operating every single part of it. It's so interesting. Like,
so this is the one part where Leslie was right, unfortunately, even if it's like a broken clock situation. When she said that seduction is something the Sith do, it is, and that's meant in every way. You're seduced with power and glory and sexual motivations, and he knows that Anakin has been thirsting over this bitch, and so he wants him to not only be compromised by loyalty to the Jedi Council, because he'll know he'll pick Padmé over her, but also he knows that the other benefits of having a woman that you're in your life will start to compromise him, and he has no ability to deal with that.
Palpatine is extremely smarter in this than he was in the previous film, and I felt like the politics was done in a much more subtle way than the overhanded way that we saw it in the Phantom Menace. Because later on, you find out that Palpatine had actually been mentoring Anakin. Anakin says so as much. Like he says that I've been able to get this far because of your guidance. And another sneaky thing that Palpatine does in the opening scene when he's with the Jedis, he doesn't say, let Anakin protect Padmé. He says Obi-Wan. So he's always hiding his true intentions with every decision and suggestion he makes.
And he's really always like 2 steps ahead. Like he's planned what the reaction to something's going to be. Like not as well as Thrawn does in the EU as we get into that, but Palpatine like has operated every single thing that's happening. It's really interesting. As a kid,
to be fair, the blatant racist that Palpatine is, there's a reason Thrawn was his only alien commander. Like
they'd have to mention that, but
No, but I mean that's a lore thing. Like that's did not. Okay.
Well, here's
now that we've. Sorry,
go ahead. No.
I was going to say now that we've like praised it, let's tear it apart a little bit. The previous scene, Anakin says he doesn't like this whole plan of using Padmé as bait, and then when he explains the plan to Obi-Wan, he admits that he'd come up with the plan with her. So there's a bit of a contradiction in motivations and goals there. Another thing,
I don't like that. I thought Obi-Wan said that.
No, Anakin says that. I don't like using the Padmé as bait. He says that initially, and then he contradicts himself. So I found that to be an issue. Another issue is the assassin's means and modus operandi, because she has a rifle. We see that she has a sniper rifle that she uses on Obi-Wan later. I don't understand why she doesn't just fly past her window and shoot Padmé.
Durasteel glass that was blast proof.
It's also been pointed out before, like
extra special laser concentrated.
Go ahead, Wyatt.
Why did a bounty hunter hire another bounty hunter?
Okay, so
He's
about he
not
didn't
connected.
again. This is a thing that's explained in that's not explained in the movie, which does I get why it's bad. However, he didn't really hire Zamwazel. Jango Fett and Zamwazel have a past working almost mentorship. Basically, Zam went after the same bounty as Jango did at one point. Jango basically had to beat her to it, but it allowed a bunch of other bounty hunters. And it was like, of all the bounty hunters that have gone across to me, you have actually piqued my interest, so I'm going to more or less take you under my wing and let
Can
you
I
be
tell
like
you the
my
reason?
partner.
Go for it.
Django's reputation enables him to hire stringers, wisely minimizing his own risk. He often works with Zam Wessel, to whom Django assigns the dangerous job of assassinating the senator for Naboo. They're expendable assets.
Badger just sitting there the whole time looking at me like an idiot.
But don't you think that it's great that we have all of that lore, but when we review a film and we break down a film, we should review it based on what it is that we see in there.
I think
it's
I've
the
watched
same
it for
argument.
2 decades until you mentioned it, Niyat. I never fucking gave it a second thought.
Yeah,
Until you mentioned it just now. Yeah.
Because when I look at like MCU films and comic films, a lot of people go, "Oh, well, it's in the comics, so it makes sense." And my argument to that is always, well, it doesn't matter if it's in the comics; it has to make sense mechanically in the story. And we don't actually understand Jango Fett's relationship with this bounty hunter because nothing's explained to us. It's all left a mystery.
I disagree with that assessment because the films and comics are different canon, whereas the books are canon to the film. They are now. I do agree with your idea that hey, this makes for an incomplete film. We don't have all the answers. That is bad storytelling. Like on the surface, I agree, but I don't think your comparison's a good one because you're comparing separate canons to things that exist within an overarching singular canon.
Well, my critique is purely that we shouldn't appeal to something that's in expanded lore. We should focus on what's in the film. As much as it's great to know about, where the backstory of the characters and their relationships and how it plays out in the expanded universe, that's fantastic and that adds depth to this. But I think that when you're treating a film, you should base it on what the information that we get inside of it.
I mean, they just used a bomb to blow up a giant spaceship, and now they have to resort to bugs. I feel like they could have found something to break through the window.
Well, they cut a hole in the window. That's how the bugs come in. So she could have cut a hole and used her sniper rifle to kill Padmé efficiently.
Those bugs are called Kuhuns?
Don't make me. I could look it up in the thing, but yeah, they're bugs.
I mean, can we not just assume though that there's obviously a reason for this type of assassination? My reason, because we know that Palpatine Dooku has hired Jango Fett. Dooku, Palpatine's underling. So clearly, Jango and by proxy Zam know there's Jedi watching them. So they need something that's less conspicuous. Maybe they're not going to sense bugs as opposed to sensing Zam's presence.
But they just blew up a fucking spaceship.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but that was but now the Jedi are on alert. Now the Jedi know that there's going to be a second assassination.
Okay, on that note, right? Because we just finished reviewing Phantom. They saw a Sith that they haven't seen in 1,000 years. So why are they not on high alert? In 10 years,
they didn't know. They didn't know. Remember who died? The Master Man. It's been 10 years since. By the way, I went back. What Anakin says is, I don't like just sitting here waiting for something to happen. But while we're here, on her decision, I've allowed R2 to be the one that alerts us and turn the security cameras off because she doesn't like me watching. But don't worry, I can sense everything going off. But I still don't like just sitting around here waiting for something to happen. That was what he was saying. But I understand what you were trying to say. Okay. But to me, that's why I didn't take it as a contradiction. He doesn't like waiting there. He wanted her to be in protective custody, but she's not. And while she is, he conceded to her wish.
Yeah, because I mean that is fair because Padmé is always ballsy from the very beginning,
and she's got his for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
No, the animation for this film was kind of revolutionary at the time, with the green screens and a lot of
the first Phantom Menace was shot on blue screen. People need to remember. So this was was this one of the first green screen films ever?
Yes. Yes, it was.
I mean,
it was
to
taking
this
it
degree, probably
to this degree. Yeah, it was evolutionary.
Yeah, I know that's true.
Yes. So yeah, this is obviously the shapeshifter.
My problem with Coruscant, which applies to all of Star Wars, most of it, is that they have all these different worlds and galaxies they go to, and they just go to like the same fucking locations on all of them. Coruscant's entire planet of a city, and we keep seeing the same spot. I know it's like, you know, the Washington D.C. spot, but
Yeah.
come on.
I wish we had
always
gotten
Coruscant,
13.
Tatooine, Naboo.
God, me
Like,
too.
those are the only 3 planets that exist in this universe. It has
Yes.
thousands of planets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like this the bar scene, and then
Yeah, trying to sell the death stick. Oh, right there,
The
selling
death
death
sticks.
sticks. The death sticks.
God, I
Yeah,
forgot.
go
He's,
make some more.
stick.
he's got
Yeah.
like a whole fucking section too. Hold on. Yeah.
This scene right here where he's about to release the information of who hired him. Oh, sorry, a little too.
So they're
far.
called slith mongers.
Okay.
Lowlives who peddle cheap narcotics manufactured by disbarred pharmacists are called slithmongers on Coruscant. A few are likely to show up at any average club. Slithmongers must be prepared for a quick exit when customers have a bad or fatal reaction to the latest, most fashionable concoction. Yo.
Who's
Go ahead, Wyatt.
I was just say, who's this? I thought that Star Wars was racist until Disney
Yep.
got it. I don't know who this
Yes.
person is.
Yeah. we mentioned
Not
that
only
a
is
lot.
You
he
don't need to know
a
who the
black
person is,
Jedi, but he's the most powerful,
Powerful.
or the
Yeah,
most
he's like-
skillful lightsaber user.
Like badass,
Yes.
high up there ranking Jedi.
But getting back to the assassination there, obviously by we will find out that later it's probably Django, right? That I like that. I like this the setup for all that, like trying to get information. It's kind of throwback to the 50s detective episodes where
It's
you know
what Ewan McGregor was talking about there. Like his Obi-Wan gets a detective story, and that
Yeah.
separates it so Anakin can do his boyfriend
Mhm.
bodyguard thing.
yeah.
Sorry, CF. I'm reading from this CFH, the Attack of the Clones Visual Dictionary from 2002.
Zach's comments hell.
The sacred text. The
Oh, now that I see the back picture of Padme, I definitely remember this book.
yes.
I feel like I've seen this before as well. Now,
That
Leon
page
and
is sticky
Badger,
for some reason.
is it unusual in the expanded universe for a
It's not
Padawan to be
unusual.
separated from
For what?
their? Is it unusual for a Padawan to be separated from their master during a mission? Because I did think that was odd. Because they could have gotten somebody else, gotten
Not for
Obi-Wan
more
and Anakin.
advanced. Not for more advanced, and especially as they were getting more and more extended. There wasn't war yet, but they were going on more and more like diplomatic missions. So yeah, more advanced. I mean, Anakin's.
At this
He was
point,
already-
Anakin's almost a Jedi.
Yeah,
he's in
yeah,
the last
yeah.
year or two of his training. Like it's actually kind of expected at this point because he needs
Yeah.
to be able to function as a Jedi without his master.
He's not like a brand new rookie cop at this point.
Yeah. If it had been like 13-year-old version of Anakin, then it would have been like, which by the
Which, to
way,
be fair, did happen in the
happens.
books a
no,
lot.
I
but
was
that
say happens, but he's also the chosen. That's the other thing. This whole fucking thing is he's very aware that he's supposed to be the chosen one.
Yeah.
This is the scene you guys were talking about earlier with Palpatine.
Yeah,
under
see, like
his
when I was a
guidance.
kid, all of those like scenes that were like boring, I don't care, I want to see the flashy lights. And now when I watch them, they're my favorite parts because like the story
Yes.
and plot is so interesting there.
And this basically admitting that most of the Jedi have become arrogant, or a lot of the Jedi have become arrogant and detached.
Yeah, and
Because
very
they've
few.
been clouded for a while now. It was
Yeah.
before Phantom Menace. Plagueis
Before
was already
Phantom.
starting to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the younger guys here. This is your Princess Leia. I'm assuming that you guys all had.
Yeah,
major
No,
Padme,
crushes
Princess
on
Leia,
them.
my
Natalie.
Princess Leia.
Yeah, Princess Leia is my
my
Princess
Princess
Wait till she gets the midriff. Wait till she
Like
gets the
Padme, though.
midriff.
Don't get me wrong. I love the midriff, but Princess Leia is my Princess Leia.
Sure.
I felt she like did a really good job as she was trying to hold a lot of these scenes together.
Oh, when
'cause-
you watch her, like I remember watching this film and thinking that's Luke and Leia's mom, and like I buy it, I believe it. Like she comes off as Mama Skywalker, but that's not who she is yet. But we know that's who she'll be, and you can see it. She even wears her
That's
hair
why I
in ways
laughed
that
earlier,
Leia was going to
so
wear.
like,
It's
yeah.
great.
By design, right? And I get the
No.
also the whole like I'll get this uptight bitch to love me. I know she fucking likes me. I see the way she looks at me. She
well,
doesn't
this
think
is
I'm
the
looking.
first time we see like Anakin go almost bipolar here because he's like one moment he's talking about his training and how he mentions this a couple times throughout the movie, how Obi-Wan's like a father to him, which I have a problem with. I would have said, like, I would have, if I was going to write the dialogue, which Lucas had trouble with it, and he hired Jonathan Hales, is that his name? Yeah, Jonathan Hales, to do the dialogue, because he's terrible at doing dialogue, and Jonathan Hales didn't do much better here, but he mentioned, like, oh, he's like a father to me. I would have said like an older brother.
Well, that's the problem, Gooch. He is an older brother, and Anakin misinterprets. He should have been a father. If this had been Qui-Gon, because he needed a father figure. Instead, he got a brother figure who's always chastising him, and he's never correct because Obi-Wan was the wrong master for him. So it's the correct dialogue, and that he's misinterpreting what he's actually saying. But by the way, Obi-Wan is holding him back.
He is, but like in that moment, he's praising Obi-Wan for the training and preparing him, but then he snaps into this anger like a 10-year-old when he's supposed to be. How old is he in this movie?
How are your relationship with your parents? Do you not? This is a 19-year-old chosen one prodigy who is being held back, who is by his mentor figure for reasons.
I didn't act like that at 19. I didn't act like that.
He's
at 19.
also
you weren't the chosen one.
You don't have the Force.
You're Canadian,
dude. I would have had Padme already, like at this point. So like come on.
I get where Gooch is coming from. It's not that he has these two extreme views at the same time. It's how abruptly he goes from one to the other.
That's
a snap.
Yeah, and that was my issue. That's why I think a different actor could have done it more subtly, where you're like, it's more menacing, and you're like, oh shit.
This is what happens when you're raised by a single mother.
Well, not for a while. He's been raised by an older brother.
Yeah, I feel like he's been raised by the Jedi.
He did better when he was a slave. He built a fucking car when he was a kid. Now he's been held back and whiny.
Yeah, that's the issue I have with Anakin. Like it's not that he's allowed to act like those moments, but they're just right away
conflating a different scene. Because where's the snap in this one?
He gets angry about the training. I'm ready to do this, and they're holding back. He gets angry, and she's sitting there trying to temper him down.
No, I'm pretty sure that happens on the ship.
No.
Well, it happens multiple times.
No.
It happens here, and it happens later.
Yeah, but they're two different. We'll play it so we can find out. Because I'm
not playing Star Wars on this channel. Are you kidding me? Because he's sitting there with the orb, and he's sitting there and he's talking about it.
Yes.
And then he right away gets angry, and she's listening to him.
Here.
Yeah. And she has to almost like temper him down.
Yeah, I know you keep saying that, but that's not that scene. He doesn't actually. He shows frustration. He doesn't get upset because it's natural for our leaders to question, for our mentors to question us, but he doesn't actually get upset in that one. That's why I'm telling you to show even the frame in his face where he's upset. He's
okay.
Anyway.
I am going to bring it up.
Thank you.
Actually going to yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Dorme. Sweet, sweet Dorme. I am ready for the trials, and he creeps on her.
I was gonna say, do you think like Padme and Leia, since they're such high up officials, they have to wear that hairstyle to get radio frequency so they always know what's going on?
Yeah, I always assumed that they were regal.
Right here, right there.
Yeah. He's always jealous.
He's overly critical.
Yeah.
Well, it's where he goes from. He
had
goes
internal
from
frustration on someone, because I could give you several examples where you jumped a fucking level, and this is just behind streams. So maybe when we have passionate feelings about people, it comes out when we trust people.
Really?
Yeah, actually, so you can understand what I'm saying. Who does Anakin have to talk to? No one. This is the first person he has to talk to. It's not a fucking Jedi in a decade.
But he's trying to bang her. Like,
yes,
you keep her cool.
Do you not?
Yes,
he's not a fucking.
He hasn't banged her
yet. Right.
Yes. No. Yeah.
I think I explained it.
It's to go to Gooch's argument of how abruptly it starts by saying, "Don't get me wrong, Obi-Wan is a great mentor, as wise as Master Yoda and as powerful as Master Windu. I'm truly thankful to be his apprentice. Only I'm a Padawan learner in some ways. A lot of ways, I'm ahead of him." And she says that must be frustrating. And then he goes, "It's worse. He's overly critical. He never listens." It's just, it's weird to go from that to the other.
Yes.
I found it completely annoying, especially when we're showing the fact that he's got a dark streak in him. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Well,
is this the scene that everyone was like, "Yeah, this is great"?
What?
I love that.
Yeah, Dex is great.
Oh, I thought they meant the dinner scene in Naboo, not the diner scene. But the
I thought
diner
they
scene
meant
is good
those.
too.
I like this. This is like Batman. Like this is
don't hate
detective
it.
work. It's I didn't mind it. The CG is obviously there's it's dated, but
Yeah. They had like
It
3
is what it-
versions of this scene. They had one where he goes to the medical droids and they tell him that we don't know what it is. And then he has this one, and it's the Jocasta new one. It's like, if it doesn't
Yes.
exist.
yeah, he was giving me schnapps, and then he just like released it
I
off.
didn't name
Yeah.
names. You got me blacklisted from Hop Sing?
This baby belongs to them clones. What you
by
got
the
here is
way,
a Camino
Jocasta knew-
Kyber.
Yeah,
Funny
the
little
dart.
cuts on the side.
Yeah, the little markings on the side, because he was talking about the symbols, and then he says that's where they all look at, but it's actually the markings on the side, and it's from the clones, right? He mentions them.
Yeah, this
The
is the first
cloners,
time
Camino?
you find out about
Cloners.
Camino.
Is it Camino that he's telling him to go to, or what? Like,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah,
Camino?
yeah, he's telling
Camino's
about
the planet.
Camino, planet of cloners, and Obi-Wan is flabbergasted because all of his travels with the Jedi, and he's never once heard of a planet called Camino where cloning happens. Because at this point, isn't cloning outlawed?
In the Galactic Republic, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
Very few
could you go
exceptions.
back? That scene between Obi-Wan and that library archivist was
Yeah, she's a
bizarre to
bitch.
me. She's like,
Yeah.
What does she say to him? Like he asks
It's like, if it's not in our records, it doesn't
It does
exist.
not
She
exist.
says it
which is-
hella
that's
bitchy. She's like,
so retarded.
Also,
Like,
movies, all 2 and 3 gave us a massive disservice. This bitch doesn't use a lightsaber. She uses a fucking sniper rifle that basically shoots lightsaber bolts from a kyber crystal, and we never see it. Jocasta Nu got one of the most badass weapons in all of Star Wars, dude.
really?
this
I
lady.
thought it was just some bitchy library lady.
That's
To be
why I
fair,
could.
she was correct, not knowing that a Jedi who just they never considered would do that deleted it from the archives. They did have a complete system, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's just showing her the arrogance that she wouldn't even consider the fact that someone could have edited it.
And so now, if people haven't seen this movie and you're watching this, they're going back to Naboo and they're going incognito pretty much on just a civvy ship, dressed up like civilians because of the assassination attempts. So they wanted to kind of go incognito there. Anakin protecting her, of course. And then we got. I had to laugh at this, like those helmets. Like what design is this?
These are the proto versions of the
Yeah.
blast shield that Luke wears in A New Hope. I think that's
I
a great
know.
mod.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
I just laugh at it because it's just like
I laugh at this scene too because I think it's actually funny. Like when Yoda's
Yeah.
looking at these kids, some of which are bigger than him, like, oh, Master Kenobi has lost a planet.
Yeah.
And those
Oh,
are
embarrassing. Like, oh,
low
it's
power
adorable.
safety blade lightsabers.
Yeah.
younglings. Oh, if they only knew.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah. 66. Anyone?
That's where we
But I
find
like
out
this
that a little
conversation.
kid is smarter than Obi-Wan.
Yes. Like talking about the was it 12 Corsacks outside of the system here.
I have no
That he's
idea,
looking for?
but-
Yeah, it's a plant. He's trying to look for it, and they're saying it's 12 Corsacks out of I can't remember the name of the system.
Naboo?
No, it's
no.
not Camino. It was when he was talking to
Camino. They're
Yoda.
looking the 12 Corsacks outside whatever system, hidden in this little hidden in this smaller system.
Oh shit! I never actually read the Kaminoans' background. I'm glad Erwin's not here. When a global climate shift flooded their planet, the Kaminoans were forced to adapt. They developed cloning technology and practiced selective breeding to keep their race alive. As a result of the hardships endured during the Great Flood, the Kaminoans have an austere, non-materialistic outlook. They are outwardly polite, yet behind them lurks an extreme intolerance of physical imperfection, i.e., you know what they would get rid of. The Kaminoans are reliant on certain outworld technologies and raw materials to maintain blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Erwin would be triggered as soon as global climate shift happened.
But then they get
this-
pretty based as it
Then
keeps
he's
going.
back on the team once he hears it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think the Bad Batch. Well, the Bad Batch, I guess specifically they were trying to experiment with, but that sister clone probably wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did those end up there?
Yeah.
Bad Batch doesn't really fit with that.
Yeah.
We left some retarded ones in just because we thought it'd be funny.
It's a Queen Jamina or whatever the hell her name
Yeah.
is.
Jamelia.
Trained him badly. That's
Jamelia.
a joke.
So, quick question: when did they become queen? Because they're only queen for what, like an 8-year period, like until they hit a
4-year
certain
period,
age?
but
So
Was it a 4-year?
Yeah.
they got elected twice, so she did the 8 years.
Oh, okay.
And Queen Jamelia
I didn't know
apparently
that. I thought it was
appointed her as
longer.
senator.
Yes.
So does that mean, hold on, if Queen Jamelia is the one that appointed Padme as senator, does that mean Padme is the one that appointed Palpatine as senator? And if that's
Yeah.
the case, how long
No.
has Palpatine been living on Naboo?
I don't know.
Palpatine's a native in Naboo. Palpatine
born
was
there.
born on Naboo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plagueis, right? Yeah. Read the Plagueis. It's all there.
He was born there.
So Palpatine is actually of a pretty not royal lineage, but like Palpatine's basically a Kennedy.
It's a royal
his whole-
lineage for sure.
Yeah. Oh, it's actually royal blood. I remember
Because it
just
explains how he's not found by the Jedi. It's been a fucking long time since I've read Plagueis. I gotta get that in one.
Yeah.
But it explains
What's
basically why
up,
the
Tim?
Jedi didn't get him and how Plagueis got him instead.
Yeah, and he starts working like the inner working his political plan like pretty early on. Plagueis finds him as a kid.
Plagueis is
And-
still alive in Phantom Menace. Like,
Yeah,
Well, until literally the night
Right.
Qui-Gon dies.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Oh, so Sidious kills Plagueis the night that Qui-Gon
Like
dies.
when they say he's like Tatooine is
Like, as-
sparsely populated, master. That whole scene right there. Plagueis is like the next fucking room.
yeah, he's watching that.
Yeah.
And then it's I think right
Tanwi.
before the Naboo like parade. I think he kills Plagueis like right before that, or
Yeah,
maybe even
yeah,
right
the
after
night,
that.
night before. Literally kills him in his sleep.
Yeah,
Ironic.
These characters were supposed to be in the first film, and for whatever, I think they were supposed to be the ones on Naboo. Like they were
But the
supposed to
Gungans,
be.
this is the original design for Gungans, is what you're saying?
Yeah, they were supposed to be the original designs, and then they
that makes more sense.
George moved it into the next movie because he had trouble with the second film writing it. Like he was kind of procrastinating with
They
it.
look like cloners, like sort of alien
Yeah.
grays of
Yeah, I
popular
like
myth.
it. See,
Yeah.
I like as all the flaws that George has with writing dialogue, but he is very creative when it comes to world creating and like creating all the designs and having that vision and all that. I really like this. I like they landed on Camino was the solar system he was looking for. I think the planet. This is this is not Geonosis, right? No,
the planet
No,
is
it's
Camino.
It's-
Yeah.
it's
the planet's Camino. Okay. Yeah, I really like this part where like Obi-Wan comes in.
Just
and
to be
he's
clear, sometimes
greeted.
the main planet is what you call the system. The Yavin system is Yavin
Okay.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, fucking okay. So
Um,
this
And
would
I
be
was-
the
I was-
Camino system.
I was knocking the VFX earlier, but right here looks really good still.
The
Actually,
galaxies in her eyes.
yeah, you can see
Yes.
details over the face. It's really good.
The CGI does look great in some sections. The problem with this film is its over reliance on CGI. The
Yeah.
way that CGI is supposed to be
Mhm.
used correctly is you have practical effects and CGI to augment it. But when you go full CGI, you go full retard.
Well, we know that now. I do actually kind of, because I agree with you. There are parts of this movie that visually don't hold up. Actually, I think parts of Phantom Menace look better for because they were still working with a lot of practical effects and whatnot.
Yeah.
That being said, George was under the impression that things would never get better than this, and this was the hot new thing. I
Yeah.
understand an artist kind of going buck
Yeah.
wild with his new paints, like
well, the first part of the film was like kind of, I don't want to say a rip off of Blade Runner, but it had a lot of Blade Runner feel to it, even like with the assassination attempts, like the lighting, the bright pinks and greens and yellows in there. It was like cool. It was very cyberpunkish.
Yeah, but this is way better
And
than
of
Blade
course
Runner sucks. I'm joking.
what?
It's one of my favorite movies. I know what you say. I'm a massive Blade Runner fan.
I was literally
just
getting the
laughed.
Jeep keys. I was getting the Jeep keys and driving down there. I love Blade Runner. But yeah, this part where he gets greeted and they name him Sifo
Cypher
Dyas?
Dyas, which-
Cypher
Cypher
Dyas.
That was a typo. George Lucas meant to type Sidious in his fucking Word doc because it was gonna be Palpatine, Darth Sidious, and he accidentally put Sifo-Dyas, and he like, oh, that's a cool name. I'm just gonna keep that here, and yeah.
I didn't
It's
know that.
fine. This all then goes into the Jango Fett game and the Dooku machinations, and again,
Well,
Yeah.
this story here is really interesting because it was Plagueis that started building the army or had the idea for the army, I think. And then Sidious basically took over that plan once he killed him.
And Sifo-Dyas was also a Jedi, if I'm not correct, who died over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, it's shown that Dooku has him, that he did have Sifo-Dyas set this up, and then he killed him, and he was using his DNA for, as you do.
This part.
Yeah, then we can cut this out.
The sand. Oh yeah.
What? He gets to kiss her.
Yeah. You know what the problem is? Like, I was he a stage actor before he got this part? Because I want to say he was, because he acts like a stage actor on this. Like it's Shakespearean. It's
very wooden.
Stiff.
Yeah.
Yes, it's because
Now, to be fair, there's this film that he did right before. It was like a year before Attack of the Clones. I don't remember the name of it. It's a really good movie about this. He plays a young son, like a little bit younger than Anakin is here, and his father is just getting remarried after divorce or death of his mother. And
the architect. He was an architect building a house. Yes. That was after
Life as a House.
Yeah, that was after
Life as a House. Yeah. By the way, James, that was Lake Como in Italy where they filmed that. That's where
really good movie. His acting, but that's why I'm saying agreeing with Badger that so much this is the direction, because I think Hayden Christensen is great in that, and he's again this is a year or two younger.
Yeah, it wasn't just direction; it was script writing. I think Lucas finished the final draft as they were about to start shooting, like a week before, which is unheard of. And then he also kept refining the script, and a lot of the scenes between Padme and Anakin, he got them to improvise. So they do one with the script. He didn't like it; he'd tell them to improvise, and then he'd cut between the two.
There's the classes where the clones learn their pronouns, and they get to pick what gender they are, and then they choose their clone markings. It's super inclusive.
Badger, it's supposed to be appreciation. Come on now.
You play Republic Commando, the video game, because it basically shows you the training that they get. There's nothing but
I got the
killing.
real Republic Commando right here.
Yeah,
this is where they mentioned like Django kept one for himself and he wanted a pure clone of himself. So like
unaltered.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just have a child?
Because you'd have to
got no game.
Find a nice Mando woman, and
well, he's gotten so many Republic credits for being the DNA that's being used.
Django has a bit of a reputation. He is quite literally the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy at this point. He is and even well before this point, like the way people used to talk up Boba Fett about how cool he was, even though he only had 3 scenes, Django actually fucking was that. Not to disparage Boba Fett. I'm biased here. Jango Fett is my favorite Star Wars character. Like in the entire history of Star Wars canon, Jango's my favorite. But the dude,
I wouldn't go that far, but he is awesome.
He is the John Wick mixed with like John McClane, pretty much just all the action movie Johns ever of Star Wars. He ain't got time for a woman. Give me a clone son that I can turn into an even better me. I'm gonna call it good.
Wait, he doesn't need to marry and like romanticize her. Like if he's the most feared bounty hunter, surely women would be lining up to take his seed.
I don't know. It just was the easiest, most direct way for him.
He's too busy killing.
Yeah. Going on missions and shit.
I always like to think that they just have side pieces everywhere. That's if when they need to release, like that's what a drifter and a bounty hunter would do, really.
Sure, he fucks Zam Wessel every once in a while with their species.
Actually, Bush has the answer in the chat. That makes more sense now. Thanks, Bush.
Jango Fett is a gaze, apparently.
Yeah.
I like this. It shows Anakin's early flexibility with how government works. And as someone who would immediately take over if I had the power, I condone it. So, yeah. Kenris Ordo would fuck Jango up, dude. Tell you that right now.
Yeah, she's a real bitch made over here.
This has been
made some really good points.
This has been memed so much. This scene, holy Dinah, and it's so cringy. Again,
Considering they're on the run, do you know how many outfits Padme has in this film? It's insane. She goes through like 17 or 18 different outfits. Like every scene, she's wearing something different.
On the run, they're at her fucking vacation house.
Have you never traveled with a woman?
They're literally on vacation.
Yeah.
Have you never gone on vacation with a woman before? She's
She was a princess. Yeah, she was a queen.
Yeah. So yeah, now we get introduced to Jango Fett here. This is one of my favorite scenes, to be honest.
This is a great scene.
Him speaking Mandalorian to him in the beginning. Hey, Bubba.
Yes.
Hey, don't see ho. I don't know what the fuck that means, but like go in there and shut the door so he doesn't see my armor. I love that.
Just eyeing each other up, trying to get a read on each other.
It just clicked for me. I'm sorry. That is why he had Boba Fett, because so Jango Fett's not a natural born Mandalorian. He was actually adopted by natural Mandalorians when war ravaged.
The thing they took for Din Djarin is what his actual story was, basically.
Yeah. When Jasmine Real, exactly. So I assume maybe he had a clone of him, made as a way of like sort of recapturing the bringing in something of mine, as opposed to like an adopted son, making it your own son, as opposed to a natural born child. I don't know if that's the reasoning. It just clicked that maybe that's why, because he was a foundling.
Yeah, that works.
Interesting. Yeah, I like. There's a lot of good scenes in this movie. Like, I mean, I don't want to sit here and just rip on the movie, but there's, it's just awkward, and we got that in Star Wars. Really, if you want to really, be critical and objective of everything, because Mark Hamill was really stiff too. But we love
the thing. Almost any criticism you can levy against the OGs or the prequels, with the exception of the CGI, you can also level at the OGs.
It becomes a
Are you telling me that Mark Hamill has a stick up his ass?
I'm telling you, that's how he probably spent last night.
Him and Harry are just cuddling, crying together for a while.
I like his line of just a simple man trying to make his way in the universe.
Yeah.
He runs out on the patio in the rain and looks great.
Well,
that's also
the
one of the few things
that's a physical set, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the few things the Mandalorian retconned was this line. And I think it's a retcon that kind of works, because this is the only time you really hear the universe. They always say galaxy for a reason. And so when they in the Mandalorian, when Boba Fett repeats the line, he says, "I'm a simple man trying to make my way through the galaxy." I'm like, I love the original line, but lore wise, this one does actually make more sense.
What I do appreciate is that Jango Fett doesn't really do anything to hide the fact that there's something odd going on. Like, he's so aggressive here, and he goes to show his natural temperament. Like, he's not backing down. He's pushing forward. He's leaning in. He's like, he's not trying to hide anything.
I've been to Coruscant a couple times.
Kill Jedi with ease. He is not afraid of Obi-Wan. He does not need to be afraid of Obi-Wan. He does not need his armor to murder fuck Obi-Wan right now and make it easier.
He's also not hiding that anything's going on either.
Well, he's a bounty hunter, and that's public record, so he has to,
Yeah, but it's like a cop walked into your house and he's kind of like, what
Daniel Logan is that kid's name, and I fucking him. I love that he knows.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, you go. Here we go. I fucking love this scene. I love shows Anakin's playful side.
See I do too. There's a scene that happens literally just a little bit later that I think is actually better than this one. But this one's good too. I'm not gonna knock it.
The background just looks so fake.
Yes.
But they could have just used a matte painting instead of going full CGI for the background.
Get it, Annie.
Are you ready to accept Jesus Christ? Obi-Wan. This scene is like, I want to kiss you. It just so Shakespearean. It's it's awkward. This scene is really awkward to watch.
But again, it also works for a 19-year-old kid that's never gotten to experience any sort of physical contact with the opposite sex because of the Jedi code. Like while it is it's awkward, but it's also believable when you take into context, homie went through all of puberty, probably never even got to jerk off.
Yeah, and she was busy with politics. She mentions like one fucking loser, Pablo, or whatever it is, the curly hair that he tells her to stop mentioning. She's only like 24 too. They're both young in the grand scheme of things and are slaves to either their Jedi thing or their political thing.
Plus, look what she's wearing right now. I'm not.
It's a black corset, for fuck's sake. I'm only human. I'm
Yeah, and then of course, we're getting back to this, and obviously Obi-Wan trying to reach the Jedi
care
Council.
of
Let
the
them know.
old folks home because for some reason they call the Jedi Council address the old folks home.
Your thoughts on Mace Windu in this movie?
Awesome.
Fuck him.
What's that?
You want to fuck him?
Yeah.
No,
He's awesome.
you know what?
Oh, he
He's
doesn't
great.
like him because he takes out Django, you little bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty
yeah,
much the
cry
only
about it.
complaint he has. I think he's great. I
Yes,
think he's one of the better Jedis in this. But the criticism I'd levy to him is the same thing I'd levy to the entire Jedi Council, which is that they're quite stagnant. They're very detached, which is, I guess, the point of this film and the prequel series. It shows their
Yeah, that's
downfall.
one thing that I feel like there's a lot of things in this film that could have been emphasized better, and that's one of them. It doesn't really do that good of a job. You kind of like don't realize it until you look more. But they're being persuaded by the dark side for quite a while now, and they're really arrogant. They didn't watch the Acolyte, so they didn't know that all those other Sith are there. So
And
They
also,
didn't need
before you
to.
go
Kiara
forward,
Mundi was there.
yeah, he's a lying asshole.
Anakin's been having dreams. Well, they've been visions, but he's been dismissing them as dreams of his mother. And he just had one so hardcore. He was willing to do something that, in all likelihood, if what happens, he might have been expelled from the Jedi Order if that had been any other Jedi to ignore his mandate of who he's supposed to be protecting and fuck off like this to an attack. This is also why you don't have Jedi that have attachments, because they might do something like this.
Yeah.
Really big moment there that and then of course she engages in the bad behavior and says, "I'll go with you."
Yes.
Well, you get a lot of
looking
signs
for
that,
me in Tatooine.
I was going to say you get a lot of signs that he's not a great Jedi because their only attachment is supposed to be to the Jedi principles, and he seems to sway quite easily.
Because he sees the injustice. Well, one, yes, it will be of all the things he gets and then doesn't want to lose, but also he's seen what it's like on the other side. He has all this power. He dreamed of freeing the slaves, and what's he been doing? Settling fucking border disputes on Ancion while people
He
are
also-
dying.
He also has been already getting influenced by Palpatine at this point.
Yes.
Not like
Yes.
super
Yes.
strongly,
He gets
but
the
he's
Gooch
already
treatment.
been working his way. in
You're
there.
so special. You're so awesome. You're so amazing.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
Leon with 5 Gucci Gang memberships.
This
Thank
guy.
you, Leon. You didn't have to do that, brother. I'll give you. Let's go with.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
It's one of my favorites. Thank you, Leon. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, so this is where they want Obi-Wan to bring back Jango Fett to the Jedi Council, and Jango is saying, "Nope, we're leaving." And we see the fight between the two, which I like this battle between the two. Really great scene. There's a lot there.
Oh, this is all awesome. Like the visuals are great. It still holds out.
Yeah, I like the color tones. I actually like this whole planet. It just brings that dark vibe, and then you get inside. Everything's bright and vibrant, and
Evil.
but it's pure evil inside. Which
It's considering how much CGI is used, it's the least CGI looking planet. Like the exterior is everything. They've got like a
Because
textile.
that platform, the entire platform is real, and it just has blue around it.
But even the background, like the rain and the storm clouds, they all feel quite tangible.
Yeah, well, because I think they went out and like for sure for Revenge of the Sith, but at least for this, they just shot a bunch of ocean scenes and rain, and it's like a weird overlay of real and fake.
That's how you do it.
Yeah,
It looks really good. Yeah,
what
Kamino's
does?
my favorite planet in the movie.
yeah, and it's unfortunately like one of the better Clone Wars battles in the comics that we never really see the way it was. They do a weird version
But
in the clone. I know.
You can act it out in Battlefront 2, and let me tell
Yeah.
you, Battlefront
yeah.
2. Oh, dude.
One of the best maps.
why didn't Jango hide in the mess hall with the other 100 or million?
He had
people?
obvious
looked
scars on his face.
Looked a little older than all the other ones. Yes.
Now this ship is called the Slave One, but now
Yes.
they've changed the
It's
name.
Slave One, damn it.
Yes, it's for me. It's a slave one. So
It will always be the slave one.
It's a
and,
fire spray class.
Yeah.
But
Did you
now
guys
they changed
know-
it to fire spray.
Also, canonically, the reason it's slave, this was a prototype ship. There was only 3 or 4 of them, and Django blows the fuck out of the other two or
They're
3.
prison guard ships. They're for
Yeah,
guarding.
and so he
Yeah.
has the only one in the galaxy.
Yeah. I love this. Annie, little Annie. You sure sprouted. He speaks Hutsies to him, you know.
I told your mother. I am sorry, Annie.
I'm sorry, Annie. Business is business. Yeah.
But I heard the man freed her. And he married her. He's like, gets so excited.
Did you guys catch the continuity thing when Jango Fett is going into the ship? He bangs his head on the door.
Yes, I hate
Yeah.
that they do that, but yes, that is why.
And we see
to
that in the
explain
original trilogy,
Why
yeah.
A New Hope, that one fucking dumb stormtrooper hits his head on the door. That is some sort of like propensity to bump your head got passed on. I don't.
I know it's
It's
silly.
just like
but
a
I
thing they
fucking
do
love it.
now. Every
Yeah.
time they see a door,
I
there's a
have never
This-
noticed that. I won't lie.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
swear to
Yeah,
God,
I
I
knew it was
have
there.
He has
never noticed
Django.
that.
There's even a little sound effect on it. Dunk,
He goes,
of him
"Dunk."
hitting his head. Yeah. The Sonic.
I know the sound effect even. I didn't know that's what it correlated
That's
to.
what it is. Yeah, it's him hitting his head.
It's fucking funny.
The Sonic mines and the
shit, we already
sound
got past
are
the fight.
dope.
Okay, I want to say something about
Yes.
that Obi-Wan fight because I didn't realize how fast you're blazing through this. There is a really great bit of filmmaking when you compare the Obi-Wan fight to the later on Windu fight. So again, I fucking hate that Mace Windu kills him. However, when we get to that fight, the reason he does it, you'll see sparks coming out of Jango Fett's jetpack that has been
Yes.
damaged by the.
That got added in post.
Was that added in post? Really?
Because people complained. Then they added it. The a little bit comes out. A little bit of they added that to make it clear so you understand that his jetpack is broken from when he gets tumbled by the
Right,
whatever
because
the
he
fuck they call
pulls
the
that
thing.
same move on
Mm.
Obi-Wan, and that's why it works. He's able to
Yeah.
shoot, back up, fly back, and he gets out of Obi-Wan's reach. He
Yeah.
tries that with Windu later, and it doesn't work. That's why Windu kills him. Still gay, but it's good writing or good editing, whatever.
Yeah. And this also establishes his dislike of flying. Flying is for droids. A little
I was
racist.
gonna say,
that's all right.
even people who like really hate this movie love that sonic bomb and that sound when it
It's
goes off.
so sick.
Oh,
It was the
so
one
good.
thing
Fucking cool, dude.
in Django Fett in the Disney one when he got his
Yeah.
shit back finally and they did it. I was like, well, that was
You're like,
cool.
Well, and they also
it's just that
do it
sound
in,
is iconic.
This isn't the first. This isn't the first piece of Star Wars media to do it. It actually, I don't know if this is where it originated, but it happens first in the 1998, I believe, game Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire, where Dash Rendar has a sonic discharge gun, and it does obviously a game from '98. It's not going to quite do this, but they attempted that thing, and this was like
Yeah.
them realizing it for the big screen. Oh, so good.
Bless the maker, Anakin.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and this so weird. There's Joel Edgerton before he was famous.
A really underrated actor, by the way. I've never seen him give a bad performance. He's been in bad movies, like The Thing, but he's never given a bad performance.
He was phenomenal in Warrior. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, he's great in The Warrior.
Yeah.
This is really
Great
good. 'Cause you
Gatsby.
just remember
Kills
this
it in
is
Great Gatsby.
this is what he when Luke is asking you about his dad. This is who they met, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then obviously he's lying to him about but where's my
Yeah,
mother?
this is where he learns about the Tusken Raiders and how they.
I actually always
Makes
liked
sense.
this because in his head, I just thought he was like motherfucking himself the entire time as they're telling him this because he's like, I've been having these dreams for weeks and I let Obi-Wan talk me out of it and and he's just sitting there fucking seething and he just when they're done, he just stands up. Where are you going? Find my mother, bitch. Like, where do you think I'm going?
I do
Yeah.
like that
It's
they
an
put up
interesting way
a
to look at it,
considerable
yeah.
fight when she was taken. You hear that 30 went out, only 4 came back. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
they
well,
fought to get her
and
back.
homie's like, I lost my leg. Like,
And that's a great
Yeah.
line. Those Tuskens walk like men, but they like he's really
But they're
sets up like
monsters.
Yeah, he does.
Padme started to let it crack that she feels more for him. This is beyond consoling.
Yeah, for sure. And he's like, I gotta kill some things.
It's a very good outfit she's wearing. I'm just saying.
It gets better.
Yeah.
and then, dude, right here.
So-
the
Yeah,
music
great.
right here, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Swoop
that's probably
oh,
by
right.
it hits.
him
See, for-
questioning. Remember, he grew up here. Him questioning, but now he's back as a fucking Jedi. Oh,
But this is
See,
the
it's-
part.
Go ahead,
quickly,
Gooch.
I was gonna say this is the part I love the most because like it's got dusk and it's like everything's red, indicating that the rage is like brewing, and you can see
Yeah,
the dark
darkness
force
is coming.
coming. It's coming. That's what I like about this. It's brilliant. I really like this.
It's the first time we see Invader, and I think if I'm correct, the musical leitmotif is actually Duel of the Fates, isn't it? During this section,
Just right here.
Yeah,
Dun, 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 yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I love that sound. As it like he shifts
I
gears.
every
Yeah.
time I hear that fucking song, I get chills.
So this is where
So good.
Geonosis, right?
Geonosis,
Yeah,
yeah. This is where we hammer home the idea that Jedi Force users can hide themselves in the Force. They can withdraw their Force presence so that others can't sense them. Clearly, Palpatine, as Sidious, is doing it to the Jedi, and Obi-Wan is doing it right now. So so Dooku can't sense him when he's spying on them.
See, from this point on, this is where I really enjoyed the movie. Like, this is where it starts to really get.
That's what most people say to me. And when I say I hate this movie, you know, again, don't actually hate it, but like when I think of Attack of the Clones, I think of the Camino scene. I think of this, but and as much as I'm like Wyatt and I love the political intrigue stuff that's going on throughout the course of the film, this is when it starts to feel like Star Wars and not just a film in the Star Wars universe. You know.
Yeah.
This is where you see.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, these are the good guys. They know the Republic is corrupted by a force they can't necessarily name.
That's the thing, is that like when Dooku's talking to Obi-Wan, he doesn't lie to him.
He doesn't lie to him.
No.
Well, by the way,
no,
he's not lying. He was lied to. He thinks that anyway. Yeah, it's a whole thing. He really thinks that that the Jedi are wrong and he was gonna have a Sith order of night. He got lied to by Sidious.
Yeah, he's getting and the thing is,
go for it, Wyatt. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna kind of add to what Badger was saying. Is like he's really going with basically kind of good intentions. He wants to expose the corruption and realize what's wrong with the Jedi. He doesn't realize that his master is letting him get so far to suddenly
got so far, and in the end, it didn't even matter.
Just DNC's
but there's also the added gravitas to it that I don't know that Obi-Wan has ever met Dooku, but he knows of him. He's aware of him because Dooku was Obi-Wan's master. So you've got this dichotomy between the two. That's like there's a mutual respect there because man, you were technically responsible for me in a way. You were the mentor of my mentor. Like that's what I was
saying before. That I wish that they focused on Dooku even more. I would have liked to have seen him go from the Jedi to starting to question it and then turn. I did see that Tales of the Jedi when they did.
Yeah, well, it's all right, but
they could have really done, especially Christopher Lee. They could have done such a sense of he was a big prominent Jedi. He was important.
Again,
and
the last 20, only one of 20 Jedi to leave at the time.
Exactly, yeah, and it was a very big deal that he left. And like there's so much of this movie that's really good. I got to read the book that you were just talking about.
See, this is. I wish like Darth Maul would have survived the first movie. Well, technically he did. If you want to really get technical, but I wish he killed Qui-Gon. Thought he had the upper hand on Anakin and just left him there, thinking he was going to die because he was in a bind. And he was in this movie, and he was with Count Dooku, and I wish we could have had that battle scene between. I think it would have played out better because
they wouldn't exist. That's if Maul.
No, but I think with Anakin, he would have been so enraged, like seeing Darth Maul.
No. What Badger is saying is that because of the rule of two, Count Dooku couldn't have been there as a Sith. Is that what you're saying, Badger?
Yeah.
Count Dooku was a Jedi, right? Like he was.
But right now he's an apprentice to Sidious.
Yeah,
he is. Yes. So after Darth Maul fails, Sidious takes on Count Dooku as his. So Dooku had already left the Jedi Order, was basically a wandering Jedi. Actually, he was a Ronin effectively, and then Sidious was like, "Hey, you're right about all this shit. How about you join me because I actually agree with you, and I'm going to fix everything." And Dooku, being the political idealist he was, effectively falls for a trap.
I would have had it where he uses Dooku as a political piece.
He does.
He does, but like I still have Darth Maul.
I know you want Darth Maul. I'm sorry.
Yes,
he's
I do.
Got fucking horns and red and black tattoos. He's a generic bad that is supposed to be gone.
To be fair, though, in the Darth Plagueis novel, like Plagueis knows of Maul and knows that Sidious is training him and everything.
Yeah. I know, but what I'm saying is I get it. Like Gooch wants Darth Maul. Wyatt.
He's cool. He has double
Could we
play
make it
lightsabers.
happen?
Neat.
Like,
We
to
could
be
try
fair,
it, but it
Sidious
didn't.
also-
He just
yeah,
flipped
Sidious
some
also
shit.
knew. Sidious
Wanna do
also
Star
knew that
Wars
Darth
theory,
Vader
or-
was training Starkiller. Like this isn't unheard of. So
Yeah.
But I think it would have pushed that narrative of Anakin getting darker throughout this movie. Like if he would have killed Darth Maul, like out of revenge, and then have Dooku at the end, and again fighting Dooku.
Actually,
no,
like
and
that.
having
there
that
I
like
disagree.
that idea.
It's got to be Tusken Raiders because Tusken Raiders they're an ever
No, they
Anakin
still have that, but just another added piece. So like you're having that rage, that fuel, and he's being addicted to it almost, and then it leads into the Dooku battle, and then you could have that like Obi-Wan and Anakin, and Obi-Wan's starting to see Anakin like become that darker side, and he's trying to like keep him from
He could
being
see that he acts more on like vengeance to take out.
Yes.
Maul. And also, I completely agree with what you're saying because ever since I first saw this movie, I fucking hated Yoda with the lightsaber. It is retarded. So it would have been better off to mix that.
Fucking disavow. It's like the best part of the movie.
Okay, man, I was actually
everything
really
is
worried
fine.
like Badger and I were going to fight over
Dumbass
this
shit.
specific.
Yoda
I was
does
like,
not need a fucking lightsaber. He's powerful with the Force. He doesn't need that shit.
The Jedi, the lightsaber is the heart of the Jedi.
He does flips and shit. It's lame.
Yes, he uses the Force.
Okay,
It's awesome.
bro, when we get to that scene, we'll go to war then, okay?
Bye.
What's up, B-Man? Thanks for joining us, brother. Yeah. This is the part where Obi-Wan is sending a message to Anakin and telling him to stay there. And watch
Well,
Padmé.
he's not close enough to send a message directly to Coruscant, so he's going to
Relay
send
it.
Anakin on Naboo, and when he goes to contact him, he finds out he's actually on Tatooine.
This is the other part where he starts getting it, but see, I don't mind this part because he's just lost.
We
his
also
mother
skipped way
so-
over it because you were talking about how you wanted Darth Maul, but Anakin wiped out an entire fucking village of men, women, and children. By the way, had a really good catharsis scene with his mother.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Great acting scene.
How
We
dare
basically
you.
just skipped over the most pivotal fucking part of the movie that just happened. But
His righteous anger when he is screaming at Padmé,
Yeah, that's
Padmé,
great.
like
Yeah.
Padmé. He's like, that's people say what they want about Hayden Christensen. He's like, the women, the children.
I love it.
I feel that. I fucking think it's great.
yeah,
And
that's
again,
his
fuck
rage
them
was
kids,
so much
fuck them bitches, kill every Tusken Raider. I
that
don't give a
Yoda
fuck.
felt it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yoda's on the other side of the fucking galaxy. They're on the outer rim in Tatooine, and him near the galactic core, Yoda felt it. That's some powerful emotions.
Slotting those motherfuckers.
Oh,
This
and
is
when he
the
kills
first
the
time-
dogs, too. Like I remember I was watching
It's
this
cool
movie with a chick who had never seen Star Wars before, right? Because I was trying to show her the Star Wars movies, and you hear the dog whimper, and she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "No,
They're assholes.
play the game. These fuckers are
fuck those
vicious.
people.
These are not
Yeah, fuck
dogs.
those
These are like sane people.
Don't-
wolves. These are
Don't watch Book of Boba Fett. These aren't human. Fuck these things.
One of the biggest problems I had with the first film and most of this film is that I could never imagine Anakin as someone who would become Vader, and that scene sold it for me. It was the first time that you go, yeah, this you can see it brewing within him.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted more of, is like you see it a little bit here, which I appreciate. Like this part, I know we talked about it earlier, where he kind of explodes and he gets emotional, which he's like not supposed to be like that as a Jedi. But I understand it right here. The loss of his mother, Shmi. What's her name? Shmi? Or
Shmi Skywalker.
And that is totally understandable. He doesn't know how to control his feelings. He
wiped out a whole village that he knows was wrong.
Yes. Well, yeah.
I disagree. It was right. He not own up to it, dude. He
he-
did the right
Yeah, I was
thing.
like, was
Stop
it
Yeah.
though?
To
He
our
wasn't,
morality, it was right, and I have no problem with it. That being said, to the Jedi, it was
against
very
the
wrong.
code, yes,
Exactly.
it was wrong.
But that's where I and I know you're gonna say
Don't
you just
go.
want Darth Maul, but I would appreciate a Darth Maul in this.
Yes, it's a little reductive if every time we talk about a negative, you just add in that you would want Darth Maul. And that's how it would be better. Because that's
I'm going
not gonna
to. I'm
happen if
going
we're
to.
talking about
See,
going
I know
to.
Anakin says he doesn't
I
like
do
Sam, but
agree.
if Darth Maul was there,
it's a
Yeah.
little-
We get to the wedding
Yes.
scene at the end. He's all
Right.
like, I don't like this.
If Darth- if Darth Maul,
Darth Maul was
said,
standing
"Now,
here,
do you
That'd be
I think
really
it would
cool.
be better."
do you take this hand in marriage?" Darth Maul was, if he was there. Yeah.
I'm gonna get you a Darth Maul doll.
Oh, I'd love a Darth Maul. Darth Maul's my favorite. I love Darth Maul. He's
Darth
great.
Maul's
Just
great.
have one.
Everybody likes him.
Sitting out in my,
Well,
my,
Vader's my favorite, actually. Vader's my favorite.
sitting out my nerd shrine in the living room. I've got Samurai Darth Maul. Like they did this crossover.
Oh
where
my
he's all-
God.
It's
I love
awesome.
this scene, by the way, when they
really
all
cool.
watch him fighting the droideka, where he's like,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, I don't know. I like when people watch.
Oh,
people
yeah.
fight with lightsabers.
Well, it does kind of. That's the first time they kind of see that some real shit's going on. That
Yes.
is going to escalate into the whole. That's like kind of the
Um,
first strike of the Clone War.
Well,
Yeah.
and this is the seeing Obi-Wan get overwhelmed is the reason they send the clone troopers and the Jedi
Yeah.
over to Geonosis to support him as well.
By the way, technically, Wyatt, you might be right. This might be considered the opening shots of the Clone Wars because they directly violated Republic law by openly trying to kill
Yeah.
a Jedi Knight.
And the
Yeah.
entire Jedi Council
This
saw it
wasn't
happen.
like some rando bounty hunter. This is the
Yeah, that's
actual
This is the
army
CIA
of
they
Yeah.
know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
They know not to shoot him. So
Very bad. Very bad.
I also want to talk about again the color scheme. Like we see the two guards in the back.
Blood red.
Everything's blood red.
Oh, we
and they
switched.
always-
Remember the first one? They were blue. The Republic Senatorial Guards. Now,
Yes.
now they're crimson.
But when they're in this room, they talk about the dark force being dampened.
Yes.
It's always in this room.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know what those statues are? Ancient Sith. Dun dun
Is-
dun.
Is it?
yeah,
Oh.
the whole time when Plagueis is in the novel and everything, there's all these little Sith rituals and like symbols in places that he puts politicians. It's very interesting and kind of parallels other things I won't get into here. But
I was gonna make
In the expanded universe, the whole reason why the Jedi can't sense him is doesn't he have like a Sith artifact below the Jedi temple?
No,
Well,
it's
the
not a Sith
entire
artifact. The
temple is-
Jedi temple is built on top of Sith ruins.
Yeah,
Like
the
not
Force
just an artifact,
Nexus.
whole ass ruins.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. It's like a holy ground that everything is built on top of because it's a Force Nexus of energy. But yeah,
Really?
yeah. No, he
Oh,
does a whole
okay.
bunch of nefarious shit and artifacts and rituals. He obviously at this point, this is a bit of the debate whether he looks like that because of the lightning or whether he looks like that because of extreme use of the dark side. And he's got like a fake one that he drops because of the lightning in the third one. But like he's doing a bunch of shady dark side shit.
Well, and the dark side in general, just using force powers eventually does morph and fuck up your. I mean, again, back to Bane, dude used to look normal, then look real fucked up real fast.
Yeah. Well, and then he did the thing with the
Before the Orbliss,
okay, so the Orbilis. Yeah, I was trying to remember the creature that he put on him.
This is obviously the other part where we're talking about earlier, where he kind of snaps, like he snaps her, like he's like a father to me, and then she's like, "Well, if you're to protect me, I guess you have to go where I'm going, and you have
I'm going to
just
save Obi because we want
Yeah,
women with
yeah.
agency.
Yeah,
And then he
snaps.
go ahead,
I,
Neil.
mean, I was just gonna. Sorry.
Go ahead, Gooch. Finish your thought.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to
Oh,
say, but
God.
this is the first time that he snaps for the right reason. He snaps because he
Yes.
wants to follow the Jedi Order instead of snapping for wanting to do the opposite. Another thing I was going to quickly say is this scene with Padme saying, you know, you were told to protect me and I'm going over there. So
Yeah.
if you want to protect me, you got to come along. I got a bit of Leia there. Did anybody get a sense
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
Leia?
Yeah.
Yes, Hunkless, I do. There's several scenes where they go back to her family. You see her sister and her parents, and Anakin talks to her dad, and it's like, bro, it's very obvious they got something going on. Even the mom's like, do you see the way he looks at you? And she's all goo eyed. Like George did not do himself any fucking favors in servicing this relationship. He cut out a lot of scenes and chose some cringe things when there were better versions of it. But it is what it is.
We've all gotten like that making our videos where we just get frustrated and just like, let's just get it out there. Fuck this.
That's a fuck right. You know,
Uh,
tried. Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is fucking great.
yeah, Christopher.
Everything he
Lee's
says is true. He's not lying to him at all.
It's like the devil doesn't always lie to you. Sometimes it just tells you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I love the circling him while he's also, oh, my friend, sorry. Very.
This is a terrible injustice.
Now this is a
Yeah.
fucking stage actor, theatrical. He's a count.
Oh, God,
Very
yeah.
precise with his words. He's trying to elicit emotion from Obi-Wan and probe him, giggity a little bit.
Dude,
you know,
that's
see what
why I wish
Obi-Wan
they just
knows.
like they should just emphasize him even more. They could have done so much with Dooku.
Yeah. Yeah,
What's up? So,
all
what's up?
respect to Maul fans here. If anything, I feel like Dooku was the one that could have gotten a little bit more servicing. Yeah, because he's
yes,
it's
I
the
agree.
equivalent to an Obi-Wan Qui-Gon leaving the order, like at their peak,
Like
leaving the order.
Like I could see Phantom Menace being when he just leaves the Jedi, and then Attack of the Clones like really building up to it. And they could have like I was saying I love Darth Maul, but I would almost be okay with scrapping him to have really built even more on Dooku and gone from there.
Yeah, like it's like
Yeah.
all things. These scenes hit differently when you've seen the backstory and you've seen how seeing Dooku being trained by Yoda and seeing Qui-Gon being trained by Dooku and onward. And really, this is why George says it is a story about fathers and sons, because when you go, it's always a master apprentice, a father-son, mentor-mentee relationships.
Look at the lighting here. Like, damn it, man.
So good.
It may be difficult to secure your release.
Like, he's such a presence in this movie. Like, it's
He walks
And he's
circles
really
around
not in
every
it that
actor.
much. Like, when you
Yes.
think about it, he is not in the movie that much. Neither or the third one. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Oh.
got a really memorable character for maybe having a cumulative 30 minutes of screen time between the two movies.
I mean, look, Jar Jar stepping up. Stepping up, even though they manipulated him to do this,
Yeah,
like in front of
exactly.
him saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what we'll do without the strength of Amidala," even though she would not have done this. Clearly,
Well, yeah, she wanted to vote against this,
yeah,
right?
but
That's what she
he's
was
a
saying.
dummy. He's a dummy.
So we have Jar Jar Binks to thank for the fall of the Republic.
Well,
yeah.
if you believe he's a Darth Jar
Actually,
Jar,
the novels go into that.
No,
He
like
becomes
literally,
a-
he 100%.
He becomes a social pariah. He tries to become a street performer. He's broke and living
I
on
feel
the
bad about that.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, he
the
does.
actual
Yeah.
canon,
And
they
Jar
have him
Jar
as a
basically becomes a
yeah.
homeless vagrant.
Oh,
feel
that's
bad about
hilarious.
Well, he's in hiding because they're trying to find him, and he actually he does like parties for kids and
emergency
yeah,
powers.
yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause he's
again,
trying to-
this is supposed to be ancient Rome type shit. So this is like the barbarians are at the gates, give power to Caesar. They haven't learned this lesson yet. Because it's pointed out, it's after the Rusan information, it's illegal to have a standing army, and cloning is illegal. So they give them emergency powers to make an army on the quick.
That's what's so interesting about this and reading Plagueis novel is you see all those little details and how it gets from there's no war at all to Palpatine literally orchestrating both sides and creating everything to gain the next step.
It's brilliant. And if anything,
Yeah.
that would be a great TV show of like, that's what the fucking, that's what the Acolyte I thought would have been. A Sith showing like the middle part, and this, because this is the culmination, but
Yeah.
this was represented throughout the generations for 1,000 years of Sith
Yeah, this is
working their way.
yeah, like the reason I bring up the Bane book so much is because that's the trilogy that starts the Rule of Two and effectively starts the 1,000-year journey into the films. Sidious is the last lineage of Bane, and the Sith truly winning.
Yeah. Which we can explain what they want revenge for, because that seems to confuse people. But I always love this scene too.
Do
When
you
they start
like?
coming out of the walls.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the introduction to C-3PO and R2D2? Like, you kind of get the, beginning of these two, the birth of these two droids. Like, I don't think we talk about it that much. I don't think it ever gets really mentioned, but what are your guys' thoughts on it? Like how they approached it? Like, I liked R2. R2's was a good fit. How
People
Are you
keep
saying
playing
how they
that,
introduce the characters or how they introduce their dynamic together?
I think both.
well, the
before you
dynamic
just said
became, the dynamic was instant, and
Because I've never thought about that, because when you see the originals first, they're always together. So when you
Together,
see them like in
yeah.
a scene like
Yeah.
this, it feels natural. I've actually never considered, this is kind of the first time they've gotten into shenanigans together. But I've never thought about that literally until just now, because I'm so used to them just always being together.
but it's Padmé's droid and Anakin's droid.
Yep.
Together. So it's one of each. And yeah, no, the complaint I always heard was that people didn't like that Anakin makes C-3PO. They think it makes the universe too small. But I'm like, it's the Force. It's a fucking small universe.
I never saw
galaxy.
it as Anakin making him. I saw it more as Anakin repairing him.
Yeah.
Because there's multiple droids like him out there in the galaxy. Isn't that
Oh,
right?
I think even that distinction would have been still like, oh, it just happens to be C-3PO he repaired. No, I actually saw him as building him. I thought either way, it doesn't matter. That was the only complaint I ever saw about the beginning of it.
I like the introduction of C-3PO there. I agree. Like he's taking I guess you could say a more advanced droid, a C-3PO. What do they call those droids? Translator, right? And
protocol.
Protocol translator,
translators, but yes.
I like that he's taking something a little more advanced and repairing it. Considering he's only working on the smaller little gadget droids that you see that he always fixes. Like even when we saw it earlier in this movie, like when he sees Watto, like he takes the one droid and
pit
quickly
droid,
and quickly fix it, and like within like it's like a Rubik's cube, but you just and there you go. I like the introduction to these two and how they naturally bond together throughout this movie, and it gets overshadowed obviously by a lot of the politics and a lot of the action.
I feel so sorry for C-3PO. Like this movie sort of shows him always getting into shit by accident. Like when he accidentally becomes a battle droid. Good on Kit Fisto for only force pushing it instead of just cutting his fucking head off.
He smiles at him as well.
Yes, he knew he smiled.
Wasn't it the actor who played C-3PO once suggested to George like that he do a little bit more, and George was just like, C-3PO's scared. He's just scared.
Yeah.
Like that was the only description he had.
James is gonna say this is where he uses his laser or his jets, and he never uses them again, even though he uses them in the next movie. So yes, he does do things.
I think maybe what he's saying is he doesn't use it in the original trilogy,
right? Because it's been 20 years later and they've broken and no one fixed them. That will be George's excuse. That's what George's excuse for all of the decline in technology is, that it's been 20 years of war and the Empire, and it's led to stagnation.
Yeah, because the Empire is clearly,
and George R. R. Martin still is not finished.
And C-3PO has that silver leg. He looks so he's been hastily repaired.
Someone heard it.
Why are you gonna summon Dragon Slayer?
You're a very special dragon.
Yeah, and then obviously they get captured.
Obi-Wan's gonna kill me.
So that's the scene where they're in the kind of the factory and the molding of the droids and everything in this. That was like an added, like last minute kind of addition in this movie, apparently.
That may or may not have been an exact parallel to the Minority Report.
Yes.
But either way, I do like it when he gets caught. It's still the when you see how they filmed him.
You just did the Terminator theme by accident.
Yeah.
Do. And I don't mind this. The Across the Stars music is also one of the best themes John Williams has ever done.
The music that plays when they're coming out loves him.
And by the way, all physical. This is a miniature, and then this the arena is all physical. So at least they tried on some.
Also, the line delivery between Obi-Wan and Anakin right there is like, "What are you doing here? We've come to save you, Master. Good job," or whatever it is. Yeah.
And he tells him to just focus, and he's like, "What about Padme? She seems to be doing fine.
She seems to be on top of things, and then she's climbed up on top. Like, I don't know. I like it. They all have their little battle.
No, this is great.
Anakin uses the Force to pacify it. The reek.
I love these creatures that come
out. Something. Yeah, we find out that obviously they were behind the assassination attempt in the beginning. The Nemoidians still salty over what she did in the Phantom Menace.
Wait, really? I don't think I even put that part together.
Yeah, well, that's why they're like, she's cheating. Can't you do that? And they're like, shoot her or something.
Be careful, you'll die. Yeah.
This thing is freaking fantastic.
The neck suit.
Thank you, Kitty Cat.
Yeah.
Dude, these are again to go back to the Jango Fett game. Fuck these things, bro. Yeah, I always these animals. I don't even try and fight them. I was like, jetpack away, we done.
All these animals are in the Old Republic. The Accolade, which is the mantis thing.
Boosh sent me something. I'll quickly share it here. Oh boy. You fools, did anyone see the droids who got away with the Death Star plans? My lord, it seems to have been a blue R2 unit and an FET protocol droid. Oh, word. LMFAO. Those my boys.
Those my boys, yeah. Yeah.
Thanks there, Boosh. It's hilarious. Yeah, let's get back to this. Yeah, this is where I like the ending of this movie. I really enjoyed it.
I like when it cuts her shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, this is a great moment because you get to see the Jedi surviving without their lightsabers. Like, they are still skilled, trained warriors. You got Obi-Wan with the fucking spear and shit.
Yeah, and it's like they're limited because they're Jedi, because a Force user would have thrown that up in the air and slammed him down and like broke its neck or whatever, but like he's a little limited in his powers. But yeah, get to see
But
all
guys,
the Jedi.
where's the diversity, guys?
There's
Where's the
Shakti, Lumia Gala.
No, Shakti is the Jedi that has canonically died more than any other Jedi.
4 times? 4 or 5 times?
There's her death in the third film. Or no, there's 2 or 3 different deleted scenes of her death in the third film.
She's killed by
None of them
Grievous
made
and Anakin in 2 different cuts in the first one. She's killed by Sam Witwer's Galen Merrick in Force Unleashed. She's killed in the Clone Wars. Yeah, and I think one more in the comics.
She's actually a really, really powerful Jedi, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, she is upper echelon of the Jedi Council in terms of like just mastery over the
It's at
Force
least
itself.
4. It's at least 4. 5 if you count one of the comics, but yeah.
And here we get the introduction of the purple lightsaber, and the purple lightsaber trumps all. It's fucking badass. It's always been my favorite one.
Look, I may talk shit on Mace Windu with the purple lightsaber is pretty cool. Yellow's my favorite, but purple's pretty cool.
And you know what's engraved on it?
It's
Badass
like
motherfucker.
Yeah.
No, he's not joking, Gooch. It
This
really
bad
is. Like,
motherfucker.
Sam Jackson actually had like almost barcode levels of badass motherfucker engraved on his lightsaber.
And his
He's
lightsaber has Electrum on it. It's the gold material. Very
So,
fancy.
quick question about Mace
That was always my
Windu.
favorite.
So, like, I know Starkiller and him have a scene together in the game, right? Like, does Starkiller actually kill Mace Windu?
Starkiller.
No. Mace Windu's dead. He's not been in any games or anything since or any extended media since Revenge of the Sith.
Unless you count Star Wars Theories fucking episode shit that he's doing. But yeah, no, he's quote unquote.
Hell yeah.
I always thought he survived and that him and like he was hiding, and that Starkiller seeked him out because Darth Vader was.
Mace Windu Samuel L. Jackson has propagated that rumor for years in an attempt to come back by saying things like, "We never saw a body."
I'm for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, the Jedi.
No, I'm not. The Jedi needed to die after Order 66. Stop bringing them the fuck
Star
back.
Wars needs to die. It's done. No.
Rom
done.
Coda.
fair
Lost
enough.
a chance.
Rom Coda is the Jedi that Witwer chases after and becomes a sort of a pseudo mentor.
Also, fun fact about this whole segment here. So Sam Jackson was like asking George Lucas, like, "Hey, what's the choreography gonna be like for this?" And he's like, "I don't know. We'll build everything around you. Just go wild." Like, and so that's why you see Samuel L. Jackson just doing all sorts of flips and crazy shit. He's like, "Well, if you're gonna build this whole set around me, I'm gonna go crazy."
Yeah, I love the back-to-back.
The diversity.
Yeah, and then there's the Reek, and unfortunately, off with the head.
Yeah,
Also,
Django.
Before the fight actually starts, when Mace Windu walks out onto that stage and like puts his fucking lightsaber at Jango's throat,
Badass.
Like, homie doesn't respond. This is how badass Jango Fett is. He's got a lightsaber to his throat. He's just looking around like, "Oh, isn't that a pretty bird?" Like, doesn't give a fuck, dude.
And it's Mace Windu's too. That's a good point because like
Yeah.
Mace Windu's not just some low level like trainee or something.
Jango, man, taken too soon. Although he does get to cap 2 Jedi before he dies, so mad respect.
All right. So parameters, a parameter create.
It's fucking so badass.
There's a scene here. This one.
These shots are so epic.
This
Head
is
just falls off.
The great
There's a
shot.
shadow after he kills him. You see the helmet,
Yeah.
and you see the shadow of the head fly out of the helmet.
Yeah.
So his dad's head's just somewhere on. Looking for him over there.
Yeah.
Well, it's his
Yeah,
helmet
That's
now.
That's kind of funny. He's looking into the helmet, all sad. His dad's head's like laying
Oh,
right next to him. Just
by the
staring all
way,
fucked up.
He does get that armor, which means that Boba then went and found his dad's body and stripped it of the armor so that he could wear it.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah, I love this scene. This
Boba
shot's
Fett's
so cool.
armor by the time of the OT is not the same anymore, though.
I know, but still, for that one,
yeah,
for the
he
futures,
did
he
take
still
on
took
his
that.
dad's
Yeah.
armor for a long time. Yes,
But this
Yeah,
shit
I
is
love
awesome.
this.
I love this.
So military style.
Yeah, the sound of them was perfect. And Bert, that
Yeah.
sound designer, all of them.
I had the Lego
Anakin,
of that ship.
shoot right above the fuel cells. Like, I love that boom, it's perfect.
It's cool. You get the ships flying in the air and the Jedi running on the ground. Like they've got this full war just going on.
Leading them. Yeah. And this where we foresee the Death Star for the first time.
And they're questioning the army. How did they get such a big army?
Yeah. Of course.
And
he
this
does,
also
but-
shows that Dooku is completely unaware of Sidious's plans because he says, "My master."
That's what I
will
was
not
just gonna
stand for
ask
this."
there.
Oh, he's lying. Oh no, my friend, he's lying. He obviously set up the whole fucking. He's the one that hired Jango for this. So yeah, he's well
Okay.
aware of what's happening right now. He's just lying.
The pacing.
Geonosis.
That's the one thing about this movie. The pacing was way better in this movie than Phantom, I thought.
Yeah.
Well, the
Once
pacing of the
it-
final
This
act.
ramps into
Yeah.
overdrive. Yeah.
Pacing's a lot better when they're just blowing everything up.
Yeah, that's why when Obi-Wan is questioning Jango and he goes, I was hired on one of the moons of Bogdan by a man named Tyrannus. Darth Tyrannus is Count
Yeah.
Dooku.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Cool
good.
ass war scenes.
Always the
Remember
best
my Legos
Battlefront
when I was a
maps.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
it was.
The visors,
that.
just the blue and the red. Yeah.
They got the
Did
cutoff
anybody think
shirt.
it was odd that Dooku was flying around in that bike speeder thing
Yes.
instead of like a proper ship?
Yeah,
Yes.
He sticks out like a sore thumb.
that would have been
Uh,
funny. Just like gets taken out immediately. He's like, "Why are you
Mm.
driving that little scooter in Warzone?"
What did you think of the final
Well,
fight scene
It
between
wasn't a
Dooku?
war zone at the time. That was just his personal conveyance that he had.
Fair, but yeah,
What
like
did
a
you
war
think of
breaks out and you see grandfather roll scooting away.
And I love this one. See lightning
this
for
is
the first
great.
time.
Well, he just
Yeah, all
knocks
this is
Anakin
awesome.
out because Anakin's so freaking impulsive. Like he has,
Yeah.
he's
Yes.
so hungry to defeat him, and he thinks he's really cocky as well. So
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that he just takes him out in a second.
That saber is kick ass. I love the look of this saber.
Curved for his pleasure. It's obviously because he's an actual
Yeah.
duelist, Form 2,
Yeah.
Matakashi, or whatever the fuck it's called. Specifically fighting lightsaber against lightsaber. I'm sure, Niyat, this is where you point out your friend Kyle Rowling, who's who's the stunt double.
Yes, a stunt double for Count
Nice.
Dooku. So technically, I'm one of a few people to be trained by a Jedi turned Sith.
Look at you.
That's
Look
awesome.
at
Oh.
you. I do love how he's disappointed. Thought Obi-Wan would give him a little bit more of a challenge.
This was a little awkward, but anyway, well, it is what it is.
Sorry, I stepped away for a moment, so I know you mentioned it. But also, it's worth pointing out, Dooku was the best duelist in the Jedi Order. Like, literally numero uno, better than Yoda. So, oh, dude, this is so good. It's just they really drive it home with how easily he fucks up Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Surely you could do better.
People.
That's what I was saying. They could have emphasized more that Dooku wasn't just like a Jedi that left. It was weird. Like he was a fucking top.
I
member.
blame George for this, and that's because the
Yeah.
man himself, Nick Gillard, had a way cooler fight for this. There's one where Dooku has two sabers, and it was decided no, he would look down on people that use two sabers. That's why he cuts off Anakin's hand right here, is because he dared to use two sabers against him. He thinks it's ungentlemanly like that one saber should be. Either way, there was a much bigger fight that got cut
That's
down.
also
And that
why
happens
he
a lot
hated
of times.
Grievous.
Yeah.
That's why he hated Grievous. Was Grievous? He thought it was a dirty trick that he would use the forearm tap, and he's like, yeah.
I love that though.
Yeah.
I love their one-on-one. Anakin slices the thing, the lights go out, the guard of the hawk, or whatever the hell they're doing up there. Yeah.
Oh, and you get the recreation of
those
the
sick.
shots, I think, in Return of the Jedi between Darth Vader and Luke.
Yeah, and they're using glow sticks for the first time in this so that you get the light reflection. Okay, by the way, Wyatt, fuck you. You're wrong. The entire audience, went silent, and when the cane dropped to the ground, it was like, oh, everyone loved this. I love it. It's forever great. But
Oh, my reaction right then was like, what? Oh, come on, that's fucking dumb.
I loved it.
Yeah, I was kind of.
Jedi aren't Jedi if they don't have lightsabers. I love that Sidious got a lightsaber too. It's a Sith weapon or a Sith tool and a Jedi. Jesus Christ, a Sith weapon and a Jedi tool.
Not to sit on the fence, but I hear both Badger and Wyatt's problems. I think I was excited when I saw Yoda pop out and using the lightsaber. My criticism would only be with the way that he looks when he's doing it.
It's better in the third one versus Sidious.
Yes,
it was.
Agreed.
It was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, we're gonna make a deal. So if it was a little bit more like that third one, this wouldn't be as maybe cringe. But I get it. I like this is also because they said, "Hey, Kyle, go nuts," and he did a bunch of shit, and then they had to make Yoda jump around to fucking match because it's supposed to be.
Is that really what happened?
Yes,
Yeah.
Kyle's by
That's
himself in
funny.
this. He's got some vague areas that he's aiming at, and that is because it is supposed to be the best duelist ever versus someone who's technically not as good but has stronger force powers and age. That's why he beats him from experience.
Well, you
And
definitely
also
get the impression
negates it.
that Dooku is a master because not only does he cut Anakin's hand off, but he injures Obi-Wan to the point that he can't fight. And obviously this fight between him and Yoda, he sort of runs away, but they were basically on par. So you get the
Even in the
impression
first
that Dooku
one.
is phenomenal. Yeah,
He could have cut off Anakin's hand and into the fight right there. Instead, he Shi-Cho'd. He just took off the top of the lightsaber and made it a one-on-one lightsaber. So that's some definite skill.
Yeah, he was playing with him the whole time.
Yep.
But
I'm
see,
not
like,
gonna
this
lie.
would have been so much even better if we saw Dooku like leave the Order in Phantom Menace and then get this battle. It would be way better.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You're absolutely
can someone
right.
explain what Yoda's doing here?
He's like absorbing it, force absorb, and
Yeah.
like nullifying it because it's just
did like
force.
that.
It's just force energy.
That's what I like. This is
what I try to get to. It's like the Jedi are sort of wrong too. It's like it's all just the force. Now, whether you get there through anger and cheap ways, or you get there through righteous anger, or you get there through either way, it's just all just the force. And there's different ways. Just one is really quick and easy, and then one it takes a little bit more time. So, in other words, Yoda could probably shoot lightning too, without using the dark side. But instead, he just nullifies it. He just absorbs it.
No, 100%. The Jedi were not like perfect. They definitely had flaws in their teaching. That's something I think is interesting too. I didn't have a problem with things like the Acolyte trying to challenge are the Jedi perfect or not, but they did it terribly.
Palpatine says it to if one is to understand the great mystery, you can't do it from just understanding one side,
Right.
which is true from a certain point of view. I love that. How easily he just
Fits for
crunches
like
it.
all of. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like the
fucking-
sad ears.
The look on Obi-Wan, he's like, oh shit. It's about to get him.
He's like, fuck.
The solar sail ship is awesome.
Yes, I
This is
love
apparently
this ship.
this is a real concept.
Yeah.
That if you were to have a reflective sail, the ion energy from the sun would literally create momentum, and that's all you need in space.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
We see that is it Sunshine or is it Ridley
Yes,
Scott's,
I think it's
Alien
Sunshine. There's a
Covenant?
couple of
Yeah.
them where it's like a big ass sail in front of it.
Yeah, I like this ship as well.
Yeah, it's super classy. Well, because it's Dooku, so super classy. And the music here is so creepy and ominous.
Again, the color schemes that they do that is perfect, like dark
Blood red.
Yeah,
The works. So this is a disused part of not near a city center. You can see everything's fallen into dilapidation. Disrepair. This is where Tales of the Jedi significantly changes lore.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but it happens way too late, I think. I think that should have happened years ago.
The Yaddle fight?
Yes, the Yaddle.
Yeah,
Which I
yeah.
prefer the books where she dies saving Anakin, but yeah, begun.
Yeah.
Clone Wars.
Oh, such a great shot.
Dun, 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 dun.
And Palpatine's
Dun,
up there
dun,
just like,
dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Wait,
This is the first
Tales
time
of
you hear
Jedi
the
as in
Imperial.
the recent animated
Second
series?
season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was recent.
Is it actually good? I didn't watch it.
It focuses on Dooku when he leaves the Order, but it changes it, makes him leave way like it's not
It's not bad.
but it's not horrible. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. so they get
I never
married.
even, like I said, it's recent, it's Disney, so I never even gave it a chance. So
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, the marriage between the two. Darth Maul definitely should have been in this shot, but
I was just gonna say that.
but
He's gonna show up in the corner in the wedding night smoking a death stick. You see the glow.
Thoughts on the wedding between the two? Like,
I was fine with it.
Yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah,
didn't care.
I like Anakin. I was vicariously living through Anakin, even though I knew he would turn to Vader. I wanted him to bang the shit. Obviously, they have to have kids.
Yeah.
So yeah.
and they're not gonna have kids out of wedlock. That's well, actually.
Yeah, you think he doesn't want to go to one of the 7 hells?
So like this film it didn't make that much money, like, because the budget was 115 million and
Wow.
it made only 653.8 million, where the first one made over $1 billion. So, and then you take half of that, so it's made 320 21
Well, the
22.
first one.
Toys and everything else is where he made all of his shit
Yes.
too. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
true. But the first one had like the biggest hype ever for a film. I fucking remember.
16
I know
years
you guys
in the
remember.
work.
it.
making.
First Star Wars movie in 16
Yeah.
years. Like, come on.
And then
Yeah.
there are plenty of people didn't like that one. So that's
Right.
the change for this film going forward.
But it did something that the sequel trilogy didn't. While there were a bunch of
Told the
OT
story.
original trilogy fans that were felt alienated, didn't like it, it did introduce an entire generation that already liked the original trilogy and then turned them into fanatics because it was happening as we grew up.
And it
I would
greatly
say-
expanded the lore.
Greatly, as we pointed out earlier, so a lot of the
Yeah.
things people love came from the prequel era, or that time period in our reality.
So
Yeah,
getting back to some of the oh, sorry, Leon, go ahead.
No,
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 go-
no. I was just going to say that when the prequel trilogy came out, even kids that had never seen the like, you basically had a triple threat, because there are also kids that never saw the OT. That was literally their first exposure. So you actually had
The
OG
real young
fans.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, real young ones, right? So you had OG fans that may not have liked it, OG fans that loved it, brand new fans that never seen it. It's a very wide net that almost nothing. I can't think of another franchise that's done this. Like when Lord of the Rings movies came out, which they were coming around the same time, by the way.
Yeah.
Like that was really new for, unless you were a diehard Tolkien fan. A lot of people that saw those movies didn't read the books. Like that was, as opposed to Star Wars had this legacy. I don't know. There was not a franchise of films like the prequel trilogy that I think we've really ever seen before. I think it's still a lightning in a bottle thing, even if they aren't received the greatest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And definitely because we got some of the best games at the time with it. I mean, this is right
Hell
around the
yeah.
time when Jedi Outcast and Knights of the Old Republic.
But getting back to the CG in special effects on this, like they were saying, there's, like, I have stats here, like there's over 2,000 visual effects shot for this film, and they introduced Videomatics. It was a department that they created, which again is the green screen and
For that
the
damn volume.
The process began with Ben Burt's creation, what the department dubbed as Videomatics, so-called because they were shot on a household video camera. And these Videomatics production assistants and relatives of the department workers acted out the scenes in front of a green screen. So CGI. That was the first introduction of CGI into the film. That was like really, really put
Look
out there.
at
And
Bobby. Bobby got into the original sin. So the real rub, what the Sith are trying to get revenge, because you can sort of ignore that. The Sith fucked off. I mean, the Dark Jedi went off. The Sith, blah, 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 blah. They made their empire. So the Sith empire exists in their region, and then some Republic explorers find it by accident. The Sith do invade, at least one of the Sith invades, but then it's ended, and it would have been over right there. But it's at that moment that the Republic leaders go, you know what? Fuck these motherfuckers. They go into the unknown space, and they essentially tried to genocide all of the Sith. So that is the sin that the Sith are trying to get revenge for. And yeah.
So the one question that a lot of people talk about is, like, did Palpatine actually want Padme assassinated, or was it like it's all set up to lead into what we.
She was going to vote against it, so I'd say yes, but he took advantage of the situation, and he knew that he'd be able to get a connection between Anakin and Padme and exploit that even further. So he had a plan. It didn't work out.
But she was a loose card though. Like she did a lot of things that he wasn't really planning on though. So he could manipulate her and plan around it, but he knew that she would kind of still go do her own thing.
I think her death is kind of inconsequential one way or the other, because if she doesn't die, yes, he can use her to manipulate Anakin. If she does die, he can use her death to manipulate Anakin. Either way, he's getting Anakin, which is what
Shout out to
wants.
Marco Ragnos. Sorry, Bobby over here throwing around these old OG Sith names. Palpatine put Padme in place to get rid of the previous king of Naboo. Yeah, no, it's a long line of machinations. I think the point is that at a certain point, she became too much agency, and he couldn't manipulate her anymore.
Yeah, she's too much of a bad bitch.
So when it comes to the prequel trilogy, where would you place this movie? I would say it's second. When it comes to,
I like this. If we're doing it, obviously Revenge of the Sith is my favorite, and
me too.
I love the end of the first Phantom Menace, but I would still choose Attack of the Clones for all the Clone Wars stuff and Revenge over everything else. So yeah,
I
this is
agree.
second to me.
Yeah,
This is.
I know.
I love this movie. I don't want to I love every original.
But you
Star
love
Wars,
Django.
This
got done dirty.
It's not. To be fair, while Django is my favorite character, that's not the only reason I put this one below Phantom Menace. The Phantom Menace was when that film came out, and when I saw it for the first time, and even looking back on it after comparing the two, because we've done these 2 episodes now comparing the two. This movie does a great job expanding on lore set up in the Phantom Menace, but the Phantom Menace really recontextualize how we look at the world of Star Wars. I think that it gives more props for me, just the fact that it created something new, as opposed to, oh, look at that beautiful thing right there. Look
Gooch.
at that.
I miss you, Gooch. At last I will get the Gooch.
Oh my god.
Do you take her to be your
Gooch
bride?
is getting jelly.
The Phantom Menace, Darth Maul. There you go, buddy. You can look at him lovingly. Tatooine's the Gooch is sparsely Tatooine master.
Son of a
Manscaped.
Yeah. I do. There's Phantom Menace does things aside from Jango Fett stuff that I like just a little bit more. But I also think that the Phantom Menace is more concise in its runtime. There are parts of this movie, as much as I love the political stuff, I think the pacing is wonky. I do. I think this is the worst paced of the 3.
Do you think this is the worst paced?
But between Phantom, this, and Revenge of the Sith, I think the pacing in this one is the worst. That's not a deal breaker. But I do think
pacing is way worse.
Way worse.
Yeah.
And it's the same length. It's the same length as this film. I think this film is 1 minute longer. Giggity. But yeah, the pacing in the Phantom Menace is off.
Well, because the question is, who's the main character in the first one? This one, the main you could also say, well, Anakin's the main character, but then Obi-Wan's the main character. But when we leave Obi-Wan, we still follow Anakin. So I would say Anakin's the main character. It's a little bit, I don't know.
Anakin is the main. Anakin's the main character of this one, for sure.
Yeah, this has got like the second one has more of a Batman and Robin vibe to it, like
as it should.
Like we
the characters, not the movie, because that's a bad movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask.
In the Phantom Menace, I felt like there were just sections that felt really stretched out and didn't blend with other scenes. And I felt like this had a really good symbiosis of cutting through scenes from what's happening in the Senate, what's happening on Naboo, Geonosis, and the Jedi Council. I felt like all of that played out quite well. I do rank this. Exactly. I do agree that the prequel trilogy has about 70% of all of the lore and background into the way that the Star Wars universe sort of functions out of all of the prequels and the original trilogy. I felt like the Attack of the Clones has about 50% of the heavy lifting. Like, it does a lot of work. I was going to say, like, there's a lot of bold imagination in this. It deserves credit for deepening Star Wars universe, and you got a lot of thrilling new settings. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the CGI, but we get intricate world building, and the pacing in this film is a lot better than the first one. I do think that Revenge of the Sith is much better, but I feel like this film handles the politics much better, and the granting of emergency powers and all of that worked so much better than it did in the first film. But I think it also stumbles in a lot of areas that do matter. I felt like the emotional core, particularly between Anakin and Padmé's relationship, never really quite connected for me. It didn't feel genuine. It didn't feel earned. How they sort of ended up together and ended up marrying each other. As I said before as well, the CGI-heavy environments, look, for the time, they were visually groundbreaking. But looking back at it retrospect, it does lack the tangible feel that grounds the story. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that they didn't balance practical effects with CGI, which they did a better job of doing in the first film.
And the third film. I actually think this one holds up visually the least between the three as well, because I do think Revenge of the Sith looks better.
It also does a disservice because it doesn't quite translate how much time is happening in all the movies, really. But specifically this one. They're traveling for like a week. They're on Naboo for like a month. Like they spend more time together than the scenes shown, but I get it.
I think overall the prequels
over earlier, so I didn't. Oh, sorry, go for it. What?
Oh, sorry. I forgot. You continue.
The prequels.
There's a scene that got skipped over earlier, so I didn't bring it up because I thought we hadn't hit it yet. When it turns out we had passed it. So the dinner table scene that you guys have been talking about, there's a moment before that where Anakin is like surfing on this. I think it's called a dewback.
We went over it. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Maybe I was doing a word thing,
it,
but like we just skip over.
Yeah.
And then like he falls and he like can't get up, and she rushes over and she rolls him over and he's laughing like he pranked her. And I was like, see, there's humor there, there's camaraderie, there's like that moment between Anakin and Padmé is actually my favorite moment between them in the whole film. Is
and the stuff that they cut out,
he faked like he got hurt,
where she takes him home and he meets her family. They cut all that out, but to Niyat's point, that it's not his fault, right? Like as it is, it doesn't depict what we know to be there by seeing all that extra shit.
Agree.
What I think that the most frustrating piece about this film is the dialogue, because like you got Christopher Lee, and you got like even Ewan McGregor, like he does a great job. Like I watched it like 3 times, and I was like, he actually did a really solid job in these films. He kind of gets overshadowed. He kind of gets overshadowed though. But I mean, even like Palpatine, like there's a lot of good dialogue there. But then when it gets to Anakin and Padmé, it's like really awkward. Like it's like, what happened here? Like, I think you're like trying too hard to make it either them awkward, or you're writing just like you don't know how to write like emotional like teenage drama or late young
he's
drama.
Not great with dialogue.
Yeah, because like obviously like Christopher Lee, when he had Obi-Wan there, man, I was like, holy shit, this is like a great scene. Like I forgot how good this was. But there's other parts where you're just like what the hell? Like I'm just wondering if that's Lucas and Hale did like other parts. Like I'm like that's why I'm kind of feeling like I feel like Lucas was focusing on Anakin and Hales was focusing on the other political pieces and doing the dialogue.
It comes down to Lucas having a problem he needed to solve, which was getting Padmé and Anakin together so that they could have offspring, but not being equipped with the tools to be able to write their scenes. He can't do romance. Absolutely cannot do romance, and that's where this film falters. But when he's dealing with the world building, the machinations of the Sith, all of that is fantastic, right? Like, So he should have just gotten somebody else to do those scenes.
Yeah. Rating this movie out of 10, like what would you guys rate this movie? Like Wyatt, what would you give this movie out of 10?
That's difficult. Maybe first number that comes to mind is a 6. Maybe if I think of it a little bit harder, but that's pretty kind of a averagely good film in my ranking. Because like we've given all the compliments I've said, I think outweighed the negatives to it. It has its issues for sure. Not disagreeing with that. I agree that the CGI at the time, was groundbreaking, but now it kind of looks very dated. Definitely no trans representation, so have to derank it there. I think a 6 is a good number for it.
Yeah. Niyat, your thoughts?
Yeah. Did we rate the first film?
I can't remember if we did.
Yeah, we did. Because
So-
I'm pretty sure I gave it a
Okay, yeah.
7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, you're
I'd
right.
probably give the first film a 6 and this a 6.5.
Okay.
I think it's just it's fine. Like there's still a lot of problems that could have helped it get to 7.5 or 8 if it was like tightened up a little bit. But yeah, 6.5. Yeah.
Leon.
I am biased. I know that I cannot fairly rate Star Wars because of how much I love it. I'm pretty sure I said that about Phantom as well. That said, if I gave Phantom 7.5, and I think this one is again the quote unquote worst, I don't know that I can in good conscience give any Star Wars movie less than a 7. A real 7, not an IGN 7, a real 7. But I will also acknowledge that is my fanboy talking. So
That's what's up, Star Wars. It's a fucking 8 all day. I don't care this. It's a horrible movie. Go fucking watch Fine Art. I love it. It's an 8. It's an 8. Thank you.
I was waiting for this. He was sitting there stewing, waiting to. Yeah.
Darth Maul.
After, yeah,
I
Darth Maul
enjoy
movie.
I enjoy
I-
rewatching this one.
Yeah, me too. There's just parts in there that I just struggle with, but I would give it like a 6.5, 7.
Damn,
In
so
that
mine's
range.
lower.
Yeah, but I liked a lot of the political aspects of it, like the propaganda stuff. The
see, people like
assassination.
this shit now that they bitched
Like-
about 20 years ago.
Yeah,
If
100%.
if you would have asked me 20 years ago what this, I would have said a 4. But like now, I think I would give it a higher
Ages
score
like a
because
fine wine, baby.
yeah, there's the Anakin. There's some rough.
You live
acting
through
there.
a Biden campaign and you appreciate all the political espionage. in the background.
yeah. I like the. I actually like the story. I like the plot. I like a lot of the, for its time. I like the action scenes in it. I like the creativity. There's a lot of stuff put in there that I really enjoyed in it, and I wish we still had that in Star Wars. That's what I wish.
Yep.
That's I think that's the piece. I'm like watching that. I'm like, why are we getting the garbage we're getting now? So
Wouldn't it be nice to have Star Wars films that like have some major issues, but overall were mostly enjoyable? I think we'd appreciate that at this point.
yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll see some miracles. We've seen a couple of them. We've seen a couple of them.
I'm so excited
all-
for Mandalorian and Grogu. It's gonna be great.
No.
that's
Skeleton
probably
Crew. John on the Wood. You'll love it.
Yeah. That all being said, let's go around the horn and tell everyone what we got going on for the rest of the week. Wyatt, what's you got going on there, brother?
What am I? What do I have going on? I don't know. A bunch of videos on stuff. I make fun of metal. I leave like festival tips. I travel sometimes when I can afford it. I have a band. We do death metal, screaming stuff. It's awesome. Check it out. Check me out on Wyatt's Metal. Yeah, that's all I got.
Nice. Yeah, please go check out his channel. He's got like his visit to, what was that place that you went to in Europe there? That was a great video. That
In
was one of-
Slovenia, yeah, my band
Yeah.
played at a festival in Slovenia, and it was awesome. You check
Yeah,
out the
dude,
video
that's
on my channel.
Awesome.
What the Avengers
Thanks.
did there is despicable. It's a good thing we got the Slovenia.
That's why I went there to fix it.
Yeah, what you got going on?
Working on a video for Venom, which should be released tomorrow, sort of tearing apart the new film and looking at where it sort of failed. Friday for you guys. Saturday for me. I'll be on Nadia's stream, and Saturday evening, we're going to be covering Predator 2 at Movie Nights with Niyat, which I'm looking forward to.
Yes, nice.
It's gonna be a stacked panel, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, some good times.
Predator 2 is just like made of cocaine. That movie's hilarious.
Yes. Yes.
Did you guys get the link that I sent in the Predator chat with the Predator musical?
Yes.
God.
You have to check it out. It's phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leon, what you got going on, brother?
Well, first of all, thanks, Mel, for having me on again. This is awesome. Love talking good shit about Star Wars. Can never get enough of it. It brings the child back in me. Thank you. Tomorrow, being Thursday, Moxie Dame's channel is the first of the month, which means we're doing that crime of the month twice a month, first and third, heavy flow. And we're talking about the Sarah Boone case, the moronic woman who thought that she could get away with stuffing her boyfriend in a suitcase and letting him suffocate. And look, guys, I'm kind of pro death penalty because we ain't exactly losing champions in a lot of these cases. I'm just saying. So, but what went down with that? Come on over to Moxie Dame's channel tomorrow, find out. And then my show on Friday, Neon Leon. We're going to have a great time. No idea what we're going to be covering because the news is always changing. And then, of course, anywhere else I'll be throughout the week because I'm bad at time management. But let's go. Thanks again, Emil. And great show, everybody.
Badger.
Tomorrow, pregame open bar on Irwin's. And thank God. That's it. I don't even know what that feels like. Just doing one stream tomorrow for an hour. You better not try to make it longer. Yeah, no. And then I got more shelves to put up because I have a crippling addiction to McFarlane's and comics now. And this Sunday shit ain't making it any easier.
No,
so,
I'm bowing out this Sunday. I gotta pay some bills.
Yeah.
So yeah, Friday night
inside the Badger Den. Yeah, you'll be there. Nick, Plot Strikes Back will be there.
Awesome. Look forward to that. And then for me tomorrow night, you can come back. All of you can come back as we do a review of Arcane season 1. A quick review of that as we lead into season 2.
Oh, that's this
week.
Friday. Awesome.
Thursday.
Or Thursday. Sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. But yeah, next Thursday we get into season 2 of Arcane. So swing on by for that, and we have quite the panel for that. So we'll be breaking that down, and we had fun doing the first season. That was way back in January. So yeah, December, January. So join us for that, and of course, late night with Gooch on Sundays. A lot of fun. We have a blast on there. So swing on by for that at 11 p.m. Eastern. So join us for that, and
Next
also
time, Clone Wars. I can't wait.
Yes, and next week Clone Wars. Now we really get into the animation and we get into the storytelling and the micro. Yeah, so we're gonna get into that next week.
Real Clone Wars.
Yes, the real Clone Wars. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. Everyone in the chat, you guys are fucking awesome. I appreciate all you guys. And as always,
stay Gucci.
You betcha. Stay Gucci, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?